And welcome to a very windy Mansell Raceway for the Rotax O-Plate that's going to be taking part this weekend. 3 classes battling it out together: Mini Max, Junior Rotax and Senior Max. Around this amazing circuit, 1,032 meters in length. Who is going to take the illustrious O-Plate home with them this weekend? Stay tuned to find out. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mansell Raceway for the Motorsport UK Rotax O-Plate, the Open Championship that will be taking part this weekend here at Mansell Raceway. A beautiful circuit in the heart of Devon, but the weather today, well, it's been playing havoc with everyone. We'll look a little bit more into that a little bit later on. Myself, Anthony Jordan, in the commentary box, taking you through all the proceedings throughout today's racing. Obviously, we have those 3 classes: Mini Max, Senior Max and Junior Max. Here's a look at the track itself. 1,032 meters in length, 10 turns, 5 feet of elevation. It is flat out there, and established in 1969. Really the home of British karting back in the day. Here's a look then at the kind of weather. Scattered clouds now, but if you were with us a few hours ago in the morning here at Mansell Raceway, it was tipping it down. It was torrential rain. There was standing water all over the circuit. You couldn't see a thing, but now it has cleared up a little bit. The track is still soaking wet out there. There are not live pictures that you're seeing at the moment, but these are live pictures that you are seeing now, and you can just see there Dan Ashton, Clark of the course, making his way out onto the circuit there. Glad to have him with us this weekend. Minimax Grid are lined up then for their first race and first heat of the day. Down on the starting grid, there is the man starting on second place on the grid, Thomas Min-Spearing, 75 for the Argenti Motorsport team. And as you can see, wet tyres are fixed on that chassis. There's Noah Wolf, the 45, just behind. Previous O-Plate winner in the Honda Cadet class, and of course, double GP plate winner from Kart Masters as well. What can he do from that second row? Again, keep a very close eye on Noah. There's William Murtaugh just behind, the 27, over to Dan Holland Racing team. Ollie Wise for KR Sport just behind as well. Another one of the Synergy Rebel drivers there. That's Jack West in the 92, starting on row 5, P10. Josh Whitcomb just behind there as well. Noah Pikes and Kai Veitch just behind as well for the Pebble Racing team as well. So plenty of action that we've got coming up ahead today. Karts are now heading their way out onto the circuit to start their rolling lap for the first race of the day, which will of course be Minimax for their race 1. Let's have a look then at the starting lineup for this one. We'll quickly run through it as they're already making their way halfway round the track. Scott Marsh and Thomas Min-Spearing have been starting on that front row. Joshua Graham and Noah Wolf as well on row number 2. Harrison Whitcomb and William Murtaugh on row number 3. Michael Walker and Ollie Wise will round out row number 4. Row 5, Alexander Zigarevich on row 5 with Jack West alongside. Aris Miauskis and Joshua Whitcomb on row number 6. Row 7, Dalton Hayward and Noah Pikes. Adam Wooden and Kai Veitch will round out the entire grid. And, well, actually, no, Mias Anskas will round out the entire grid on row 9 by himself. 17 drivers in total in the Minimax class here as they exit out of the final section in towards the tram lines. Is it green flag? It's not. It's a false start, so they are going to be going around again. You see that nerves coming into play now in the Minimax class, because again, the track conditions have changed dramatically since the warm-up sessions this morning. This morning it was bone dry, I think, for the Minimax class, so this could be their first time out in wet conditions today. I think it rained about the start of the junior and the senior Rotax warm-up session, so they got a real good insight to what the track conditions were like out there. Welcome to everyone joining us on the live stream. I can see plenty of comments coming in already. Michael Burke joining us from Australia. Welcome. Gabe Belanca is here this weekend in the senior Rotax class, running with the Strawberry team. So keep an eye on Gabe Michael, from the Australian driver, see what he can do. He had a crash in warm-up this morning. He's okay, he's fine. Just the back of the cart for a bit of a brunt, but the mechanics working well on that one to get that sorted out. But at the moment, Minimax, they're the one we are watching so far. And here we go again, back lined up, waiting for the lights to go out. Lights out, we're off and racing, green flags out, here we go, in towards turn one. Good start then from the front row, everyone getting through, down the inside there, going Noah Wolf, gets that 45 plate down the inside, and immediately almost battling for the race lead, side by side with Joshua Graham. Graham holds on to it though, he's got the inside line here as they come into the complex, side by side with Scott Marsh now, who has to dive out of the way, and Noah's gone a little bit wide there, and he's going to slot back into place. Rest of the field coming through as well. Mijowski in the back of shot, also coming through, making places, and round goes there, the 22, 27, I think that was going around. That, William Murtaugh for Dan Holland Racing, that's not good. And he's going to drop down that order now, and he's not going to like that one bit. Breakaway then for the top three as they go through out of the bottom complex. Joshua Graham leading the way. I had a chat with Joshua Graham with a Paddock show that you can see on the Alpha Live YouTube channel. And he seemed like he was ready for today. He was ready, he was comfortable. So they cross the line then. Graham leads from Spearing. Whitcomb crosses the line P3. Noah Wolf back into P4 now from Scott Marsh, dropped 4 places from the start of that one. So not the best start for the number 2 seed. Adam Wooden there up 9 places. Fantastic start for the KR Sport team. Up into P6 from Ollie Wise, Singarevich. In 8th place from Weston Walker, down in towards the top hairpin now, and look at the lead that Graham's got already. Absolutely flying away in that Argenti Motorsport kart. Green flags out, so potential spin further up the road. And you can see there, so Martin's just running into place there to get someone else, so I'll have to keep an eye on that to see who's dropped down the order when they next cross the line. But like we say, Graham's leading the way. Through the chicane. Now let's smack at those curves there. They've got to be careful. You see them do this in the dry as well as the wet, folks. That final chicane, they really hit those curves. They say it helps them get round the corner. Whether or not that's true is a different statement. It's a very harsh curve round there, and yeah, a lot of drivers are going to have to really pay attention to where they're positioning these cars. So, if you're new to British karting and you're not sure what you're watching the Rotax O-Plate, or the Open Championships, is the easier way to say it really. It's open to any drivers with a Motorsport UK licence who have any licence category, and can race, obviously, the classes that are racing this weekend are the Rotax classes, so we have Minimax, Junimax and Seniormax, but they're all racing for that coveted O-Plate to take, obviously, one of the seeded numbers in the UK alongside the other seeded numbers that are out there. But this is a one-off event. This isn't a championship or anything like that. So this is a one-off event. Drivers will score points in these heats to determine where they'll start for the final later on. And the final takes home the O-Plate. So at the moment then, all these drivers are just taking it a little bit calm out there at the moment. I have to say, you know what? It's quite nice to see. At the moment, they're all just getting around the track, no dramas whatsoever. I think a lot of them are experimenting with the track conditions because they are drying very, very quickly out there. The track here at Mansell Raceway does dry up very, very quickly. The tarmac's quite coarse, so the liquid drains quickly. It's very windy here because it's right next to Bunkerswell Airport. Aerodrome, the old RAF base here from World War II, still going. There'll be planes taking off all throughout the day. Just over on the right-hand side of your screens is the runway. But again, so you may find that this track could be completely bone dry by the time this race ends. Now, looking here, Graham under pressure now, 3 laps in. Noah Wolf has made his way back through the pack now. He's got past Spearing, he's got past Marsh, and now he's going to get past Graham here for the race lead, side by side. And he gets it done. Wolf now takes the lead back in Minimax. Obviously started on that second row in P4. Now leading this race with 7.5 minutes to go. Graham's still there in second place. He's not dropped off too much. If you can latch onto the back of Wolf, this would be good because now they can just drive away. You can see Wolf on the running a Birrell chassis apparently on my screen this time around. So, the Synergy Racing Development team. See the Argenti kart there behind, then the Kart Republic chassis. Steering just behind as well. Also on that, so as they go through, nice gap already from Wolf. Half a second is what he's got now from Graham. to look further back as well in this one. Big movers there. Adam Wooden still up there in P7 after gaining 8 places, so a good start there. Dalton Hayward, so up to P11, 2 places gained. Michael Walker's not had the greatest start for Drivers on number 32. He's gone down to 12th place, and looks like we've got a retirement. We have. Into the pit lane comes the number 13, Aris Briauskis, the Argenti team. He's diving in, something not running well on his wagon, and he pulls straight into the pit lane and out of this race. So he's not come round the sort of dummy pit lane area to get back out onto the track. He has pulled it straight in. So unfortunately, that does look like Aris Briauskis is out of this first heat, which is not good. It's going to affect him dearly for his grid position for the final later on today. Wolf then leading comfortably. Battle for second rages on. Graham and Marsh. And under investigation, Thomas Smith Spearing, driver who started on the front row, currently sitting in P4 now. Under investigation, probably for a jump start, but we're not sure. No, Wolf then with the fastest lap of the race, 56.98. That gap increasing lap by lap. Out of the midfield complex they go. Good stuff from these drivers. Now, last year in Minimax, Blake Ticehurst took the O-plate at Warden Law. Obviously, no O-plate held in 2020 due to obvious reasons. Otherwise, the warning flag. Blake Ticehurst is here this weekend, but of course, he's moved up now into the junior category, so technically he's not fighting for his O-plate again because he hasn't got it in his class this time around. He can only keep it in a certain class and run it in that year, so he had to give it up when he moved to juniors. So he's here this weekend to get it back in junior class. Yeah, Noah Wolf, another fastest lap of the race. Away from the grid, we're watching this battle here for second. This is not second, this is 5th and 6th that we've got on our screen, sorry. This is Harrison Whitcomb and Ollie Wise. Now, Harrison out there for the Argenti Motorsport number 6. He's actually running with a broken rib at the moment, and he's still out here battling fiercely with Ollie Wise. Wise trying to go absolutely side by side with him there through the midfield complex to come into the back section. And they go back here with the battle for 5th place. And you see there, every time Harrison hits one of the curves there, he's smashing his rib cage, and it is. I was shown a picture from his mother of the X-ray there, and it is a clean break in his ribs, and he's still out there racing around, which is absolutely amazing to see. Because I would be kicking and screaming in pain, but not Harrison. He's got this absolutely sorted. This is Adam Wooden, and he's made the most places at the moment. The number 9 KR Sport driver, under pressure though from the Ukrainian driver Zingarevich, the Argenti team, with a hairpin, and Zingarevich gets the move done. So Wooden down into P8 now. 3.5 minutes to go of this one. And again, you have to remember, ladies and gents, the stories that we are going to be watching this weekend are not started yet. This is the first chapter of these drivers' stories. They've got their first heat, second heat, and finals to go. It's a very short day here. We should only be going for around 4 hours or so. So a very short day for the O-plate. This year, down the main straight. Once again, 9 laps completed. We're on lap 10. Wolf again with the fastest lap of the race. Really driving away with this one, clear by 2.1 seconds now. For Noah Wolf, 45, looking to gain another letter in his arsenal that he's already collected through his years of cadet racing. Revich now with a warning flag as well, the 16 currently in P7. Got to be careful with that one. Race control keeping a very close eye on everyone. Cameras all over the circuit here at Mansell Raceway, placed out by Motorsport UK to keep an eye on the racing. Into the final corner here. Oh, and dear me, look at that there on the 45. That's not the 45, sorry, I tell a lie, it's the 16 of Zingarevich. That nose cone does not look fixed very securely at all, so potentially a nose cone penalty coming for Zingarevich. which would be a disaster, because obviously that will be a 5-second time penalty that you receive at the end of the race for the drop nose cone. Plenty of spectators here on the banking. Of course, karting, a very popular sport in the UK. These drivers really showing what they've got here in these very changing and challenging conditions, because as we've been speaking and as this heat has gone, the track is borderline dry. There is a pretty much solid dry line out there on the circuit. I'm looking at the grid that's lining up next, and the majority are still going for the wet tyres still. The dry line is forming out there. So they've got to be careful, because the heat that they'll be getting into these tyres will be absolutely chewing them up. Still 1 minute to go on the timer, plus that one additional lap. Wolf again, fastest lap. It just shows that the track is getting faster and faster as we go. Warning flag out to Harrison Whitcomb though, the number 66. Again, still got to be careful. We're watching here the battle for 8th and 7th. Zingarevich there with that potential nose cone penalty. He's got Jack West right behind, the other Synergy development driver, and no longer behind, now in front of Zingarevich there. So West up into P7 now. Back here a little further up, Whitcomb and Wise. Wise still not managing to get past it again. They're just working on their points at the moment. They're obviously as they go through this weekend. And oh, there's a dive down the inside there from Wise. Gets it done absolutely side by side. Whitcomb not giving it up at all and running him straight off the track there. And very defensive. And look at that. Look at Wise's nose cone. Also, it looks like that's dropped as well, as back down the inside there goes Whitcomb. Gets that move back. Looks over the shoulder just to make sure it's clear. Goes slightly defensive in towards the top hairpin. Comes back round. These drivers got to be very, very careful. Again, they'll be spotted for those nose cones when they come into the pit lane, so they'll have to be careful for that one. Timer strikes 0. Last lap board will be out this time. Back here with 5th and 6th place. Still nothing that Wise can do. Whitcomb holding on very well here. Again, dives back down the inside here to try and go for 4th, and there's contact between the two of them. Whitcomb comes off stronger from the contact, and he goes back into 5th place. All meanwhile, that's allowing Jack West and Zingarevich to close up behind. But meanwhile, your race leader in this one, Noah Wolf, he's about down into the final section. He'll be coming into the final corner very, very soon. And he has, well, he's cleared the field by quite some way. 3.2 seconds for the 45 plate Noah Wolf. Round the final corner he comes, and the checker flag will go out. There he is, the number 45. Noah Wolf takes checkered flag. Scott Marsh comes through to take P2. Joshua Graham, a very controlled race at the front there. The top 3 separated by quite some way. The battle for 5th place, though, that was heating up. Whitcomb and Wise. Whitcomb comes out on top, at Wise with that question mark over his nose cone. Jack West will take 7th from Zingarevich, also with a question mark about his nose cone. Madam Wood and the E-plate, Dalton Hayward taking P10. Michael Walker after dropping 4 places. Well, Mikey finishing in P11. Joshua Whitcomb in P12. Matas Miazanskas with a good race, up 4 places, finishing P13 from William Murtaugh. Kai Vetch in 15th. From Noah Pikes, the only retirement from that race, the number 13, Aris Miauskas for the Argenti Motorsport team, drops to P17 at the end of that. That is a look at the provisional race results at the end of Minimax Race 1. Heat 1, they will head into scrutineering and be checked over by our chief scrutineer this weekend, Paul Klassen, to make sure all is well and all is good. I'm looking at the carts going past, and the nose cones to the top 3 look absolutely fine. No dramas there whatsoever. But I am hearing some clutches there. So an excellent end to Minimax Heat 1, Race 1, and again, very tame, very calm, collected. Okay, we're all good. There is Paul Klassen, just watching the carts come in. Well, Race 1 completed. Race 2's coming up in just a moment's time. Junior Rotax for their Heat 1 will be coming up next. So, a much more packed grid this time around. 32 drivers competing for the O-Plate this year. And as you can see, tire pressures being checked on the dummy grid. Plenty of drivers in this one. And, of course, some of them seeded drivers. Reza Seaworthian is the E-Plate for the BKC Racing Team. He's starting on the 5th row in this one. Also, we've got Neo Clark, the number 5 seed. Charlie Hart, the number 10. Harry Linden, the number 7. Ollie Stevens, the number 9. So there are plenty of talented drivers here. Even drivers who haven't got the seeded number. You know, Ewan Charman, who's starting on the 2nd row. Vinnie Phillips starting on the 2nd row as well. And these drivers getting themselves primed and ready. And, oh, am I seeing some slick tyres out there? Some wets. So let's see who has got some slick tyres out there. I think I saw one at the front of the grid. Ah, there's some slicks. And the number 61, that is Daniel Tribe, the privateer driver on the Cosmic chassis. He's decided to go for slick tyres. So making the early call. But I say, I'm looking at the track, and it looks bone dry out there. So slicks may have been the way forward on this one. A lot of this grid is on wet tyres, and they may find that they're not going to look very wet tyres at the end of this session. They may look more like slicks at the end of this session. But Wagon's about to get rolling on this one. Let's have a look at the starting lineup when they head out. Obviously 32 of these drivers racing this weekend. There is Ted Bradbury for Sam Pollitt Racing. Sam Pollitt Racing had a good qualifying in this one. Ted Bradbury obviously on the front row. Blake Ticehurst on row 3 with teammate Charlie Hart as well. So Sam Pollitt Racing, 3 of their drivers in the top 6 in Heat 1 after qualifying. But yeah, looking at that track there, that looks like slicks to me. And, well, about 90% of that grid are on wets. I'd say there's probably more. I'd say 98% of that grid is on wets. So I can see another cut there. Who's that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th row back on the inside. Jez Williams, the number 8, running slicks as well. So 2 carts that I can see there. Carts make their way out. Let's have a look at the starting lineup then for Junior Rotax Race 2 of the weekend. Heat 1 for them as they go out. Neo Clark and Ted Bradbury will start on that front row. Vinnie Phillips and Ewan Charman round out row number 2. Charlie Hart and Blake Ticehurst on row 3. Harry Linden and Brandon Carr will round out row 4. And those drivers do from there. Reza Seaworthy on the E-Plate starting on the 5th row with Aditi Kulkarni alongside. Jez Williams and Ollie Stevens will round out row number 6 with the top 12 places. Jeff Hall and Leo Purchase on row 7. Freddie Allen and Alex Duncan will round out row number 8. Christoph Uberkovs and Matthew Lambert on row 9. Alexander Adams-Acton and Henry Beaumont on row 10, rounding out the top 20. Benjamin Bartlett and Charles Green on row 11. Daniel Tribe and Brandon Hill on row 12. Thomas Behrman and Archie Loynes on row 13. Greg Akers and Alfie Davis. Arthur Thacker, Harry Mitchell, George Pillsbury, Harry Maynard on the top 16 rows, and the grid. Carts making their way down the start-finish line into the tram lines. Lights are out, we're off and racing, 12 minutes plus 1 additional lap, and already there, Ted Bradbury dives down to the inside to try and cover off Noah Wolf, but gets nerfed out wide there as Neo Clark holds onto it, now takes the lead. Drivers will have to be careful who they're on the slick tyres because of that wet patch, but as you look there, as they get around here, the rest of the track, bone dry. And remember, all of these drivers, bar 2 that we've seen, are on the slick tyres. Daniel Tribe, the privateer, who started on the 12th row. Keep an eye on the 61 coming through the pack as they're 4 wide here. You've got to be careful you don't get squeezed out wide into that soft barriers here at the front, though. Battle for the lead rages on as down the inside there goes Ted Bradbury. And a spin there and off goes one of the karts. I couldn't quite see the number. Potentially the driver who's in third. It could have been Charlie Hart there. It was Charlie Hart, the number 10. Oh dear, the Sam Pollock Racing driver who had such a good qualifying to start on the third row. Now at the back, as down the inside there, one of the Strawberry karts making positions. And obviously we'll have to keep an eye on Jez Williams as well, the number 8, as to where they are out on circuit. It looks like Jez hasn't had the best of starts in this one. So Neo Clark leads the way then from Bradbury. Harry Linden is up now into P13. Jarman, I tell you what, for Hunter Motorsport, 89, Gustav Uzakovs, 12 places gained up into P5. From the 9th row on the grid, already well in a good spot here in P5. Brandon Carr still there in 6th place. Ticehurst, last year's Minimax O-Plate winner, is currently in P7. Clear breakaway for our top 2 then, but remember, they're all on the wet tyres. Everyone here is on wet tyres, bar 2 of them. But where is Jez Williams and where is Daniel Tribe? Because they should be excelling in these track conditions here. And at the moment, I think they're just swamped in the pack. They can't really gain anything because side by side, the 42 of Charman making moves there, getting past, I think that was Uzakovs, to get that move done. Leaders pulling away nicely, working together, crucially eating those tyres. Right, let's have a look down the timing screen. Where is where? Right, Jez Williams in the number 8 dropped 5 places at the start of that one. It's down into P16. Daniel Tribe. Not seeing Daniel Tribe on my list anywhere. I think he might be quite far down. Daniel Tribe, yeah, lost 8 positions as well, down into 31st. So, bit of a nightmare for our slick tyre drivers. Vinny Phillips, though, with the fastest lap of the race. Vinny currently doing a good job. Not the best of starts, though, for Vinny. Did drop 6 places, but he's fighting back now. That start was very harsh at the beginning there, because, of course, they'll all be with those wet tyres trying to gain positions, as Bradbury has taken the lead from Neo. And I think who's come through there? Is that Dieter Kulkani who's come through? No, I think it's a timing glitch. It's still Neo Clark. So Ted Bradbury leads from Neo Clark at the moment. They've broken away quite a sizable gap. Harry Linden and Ewan Charman are very close, though, for 2nd place. They've also got the company of Dieter Kulkani and Vinny Phillips very close behind there, as Dieter Kulkani gets down the inside of Brandon Carr by the looks of it through the midfield complex. Fastest lap coming in this time around for Ted Bradbury for the Sam Pollock Racing team, doing well at the start here. Qualified P2 from Neo. Speaking to Neo Clark during the lunch break here before we went racing, he was hoping that it would be dry conditions because wagon doesn't roll too well in wet conditions, he says. So hopefully for himself it stays dry this weekend, but the weather has been, well, it's not been on our side this weekend. It's down the inside here, looking like Ewan Charman making the move, gets that move done, dives past Harry Linden, and Linden is going to have to slot in now and try and fight back, and he's going to struggle here because Aditya Kulkarni is coming through now as well in the number 32 as Ethan Jeff Hall with the fastest lap. Down the back straight they go, into the hairpin, and defensive there, everyone hugging that inside line. Trains starting to form, which is allowing everyone else to break away slightly at the front. Under 7 minutes to go then of this heat. There, Brandon Carr, the KR Sport team, running well, P4 currently. Just had Aditya Kulkarni go absolutely side by side, and back down the inside goes Kulkarni. This is a strong performance from Aditya. Aditya getting the first podium at Lark Hall in the Rotax class as well a few weeks ago for the British Kart Championship. So Aditya really shining this year with the Argenti team, as Jez Williams now gets the fastest lap of the race, 50.20, and that is considerably faster than everyone else out on track running on those wet tyres. Jez now back up into P11, so has gained those 8 positions back from the terrible start that Jez has. But because there are so many karts out here, the track now is bone dry. Brandon Carr absolutely smacking those curbs there as they go back onto the start-finish straight. So it's Bradbury still leading from Clark. That gap now 1.6 seconds. Sharman still there in third. Kulkarni up 6 places, now holding on to P4. And a fastest lap of the race as well, 50.03. So there's a detour also on slick tyres. So I'm not too sure. That's a very quick time for someone who's potentially on wets. So I'll have to see whether or not that 32 is running on slick tyres. We didn't see all the karts before they left the dummy grid. Side by side there as well for Adita and Ewan Charman, and Adita's got past. Looking at that, I couldn't quite tell actually, but Charman gesticulating wildly there, just saying, "Yep, go faster, and I'll follow you along." I think that's a good move. No, he's on wets. He is on wet, so Adita Kulkarni is getting through this pack very, very well then. Clouds are coming over again. I don't think we're expecting any rain close. 4.5 minutes to go. Jez Williams, another fastest lap of the race, now into the 49s. The only driver into the 49s. Now up another 3 places, now into P8. So now Jez is getting this work done. All these drivers, they may think they're safe, but we could see Jez Williams in that KR Sport kart who's making more moves there. Another 2 places gained. Jez is now behind Ethan Jeff Hall for 5th place as Brandon Carr gets a technical flag. So something not right then with Brandon Carr's kart. As again, Jez Williams, there it is, 49.8, is eating his way through this field behind Ethan Jeff Hall there, but these drivers won't be able to do anything. Yes, you can defend as much as you like, but you're on wet tyres. You're not going to be able to have the traction, the grip that Jez Williams will have in this on his slick tyres. They come through. There is Jez Williams in the number 8, so he's managed to get past Ethan Jeff Hall and Ewan Charman, who are now scrapping themselves, who are both on wet tyres. Jez Williams now up to P5. 3.5 minutes to go. Could Jez get the heat win here? How far behind now is Jez from the other driver? He's only 5.6 seconds. Oh dear, and there the 77 that's off the track. That's Charles Green, the privateer, this weekend. And that's not gone well at all. Where is our other driver who was on? Daniel Tribe. Hey, Daniel Tribe now up 2 places from his starting spot. He's in 21st place now for the privateer, so not managed to get through the grid as strong, but has managed to claw it back because he was right at the back of the grid. He had a terrible start, did Daniel Tribe, so he's done a fabulous job to get that car back up into his position. There's Ted Bradbury leading the way. There is Neo Clark in 2nd place. So again, those wet tyres will be looking more like slicks as this race goes on. They will have chewed them up, which could be a disaster for later on in this day, because if it does rain later on, they might find they could need those. Brandon Carr with the black flag now, so has ignored his meatball flags, his technical flag, after an issue with the kart. We're not quite sure what the issue is. Now has just received a black flag. And that will mean he will be disqualified from this heat, receiving no points, or receiving maximum points, I should say. Meaning that he's not going to have a good time there. And there's a kart going very, very slowly. Who was that? Just at the side of the shot. Can't quite see. So then, Jez Williams has got himself up now into P3. 8 places gained. There is Jez on those slick tyres. Track completely dry out there. Brandon Carr's now into the pit lane. I couldn't see an issue with the kart as it drove past. There's that kart just pulling themselves off to the side. Not sure who that is still. Possibly Arthur Thacker or Charles Green. We saw Charles Green retire earlier on, but I'm not sure if that's his kart. He tried to get it going again. Here though, battle for second place. Neo Clark now defending second from Jez, but can't do anything. Jez's superior traction out there on the slick tyres will just decimate Neo Clark, and Neo will have nothing to do but concede the place. And you can see now that dry line definitely forming in the middle of the pack as well. There are lots of places on this circuit where it could be dry, but there are streams that flow across the track while the water is clearing, and that's what causes the issues for slick tyres. But at the moment, there has not been an issue with this whatsoever. What's the gap now between Bradbury, and Williams? 2.8 seconds. Oh, he's really pushing that kart now. He wants that heat win. There's Ted Bradbury in the 20. Gap now, not much at all. 1.6 seconds now is the gap. Back market in between these two of them. That's the 35 of Braden Hill, privateer driver. Gets out of the way. He's waited till this last lap. So timer has struck 0. There's a 5-second time penalty going out to the 74, Alfie Davis, privateer driver. So where is Jez Williams now, and how close is he to the back of Bradbury? There is Jez Williams. Bradbury's just in front. He's going to wait to the last lap then. In this first heat, through turn 1 they go. Much cleaner for Williams, who's latched right onto the back of him now. Now, Bradbury can defend this. This is full position, but he's going to have to play this very, very carefully. He's just looked over his shoulder now and he's gone, crikey, where did you come from? Thought there was no one there before, and now Bradbury's concerned. Now he's defending. Now he's holding that inside line, but he's got absolutely nothing he can do as Jez Williams goes around the outside into the bottom section and has got it done, and Bradbury can't hold on to it. Bradbury tries to go back down the inside, but he just can't get the traction out of the corner, and Jez Williams takes the lead with 1 corner to go here in Heat 1 for Junior Rotax. Jez Williams crosses the line, takes the Heat 1 win from Ted Bradbury. A fantastic drive from Bradbury to hold on to second place. But Neo Clark will take third from Adita Kulkarni. Ethan Jeff Hall will take P5 from Ewan Charman, Blake Ticehurst, Vinnie Phillips, Freddie Allen, Harry Linden, Alex Duncan, and Gustav Uvskov rounding out the top 12. Rest of the field coming across. Daniel Tribe there crosses in P15 at the end of that one, gaining 8 places on the slick tyres. And the rest of the field coming through shot now. There's a look then at the provisional results at the end of Junior Rotax Race 2 Heat 1. And the Welshman Jez Williams takes Heat 1 win after a fantastic drive on those slick tyres. And I feel more gifted that one more than anything, because a lot of drivers there, a lot of teams going for the wet tyres. And I'm looking at the karts as they come in now, and I can see those wets are not looking very wet anymore. Few retirements in that one. 3 retirements. Brandon Carr after technical flag, then black flag. Charles Green, 77, and Arthur Thacker all retiring from that race. So a very, very interesting Junior Rotax Heat 1. More races coming up in just a moment's time. Stay tuned. Senior Rotax for their Race 3 Heat 1 will be taken to the circuit in just a moment's time. Well, here we go, back in the dummy grid area. and we can see the karts getting themselves lined up. There is the 37, Sam Stansbury, the privateer driver, starting on the 5th row, P9. He's got Brandon Klein-Nanglevort just behind on the 6th row, and the number 19, Coles Cup, running as... oh no, he's running with Coles Racing this weekend. There, Gabe Balanka, the Australian, starting on that 7th row. Not the best qualifying for Gabe, and of course warm-up this morning, that back of that kart did go into the barriers at turn 1, so had to be repaired, but thankfully not a lot of damage. There's Kieran Kay, Sport on the Cosmic chassis. Very distinctive helmet design there for Kieran, very experienced driver. And that's 73. Poppy Stevens, the 89, that kart had a lot of repair work needed for it at the end of warm-up after also a crash at turn 1. Also, half of it not her fault either. Went into the barrier, and then another driver came steaming in and clouted into the side of her kart, causing heavy rear-end damage and a bent axle. So a lot of work had to be done on that kart to get that sorted. There's privateer Jake Davis starting at the back, that number 74. Now, Lewis Gilbert. What happened to Lewis Gilbert in qualifying? Because he did not have a good qualifying. He is the current O-plate in the senior Rotax category. He is here defending his O-plate. But why is he at the back of the grid? Let's have a look. Ooh, disqualified from qualifying. What happened there for Lewis Gilbert? Ooh, scrutineering non-compliance. Right, okay, so there we go. Had to go to the back of that one, so he's going to have to do a lot of work then at the back of that grid to bring that O-plate home with him again this year. It's a far camera shot there, kind of showing how windy it is out there, but also the heat haze as well. The sun has come out here, ladies and gentlemen. It is beautiful sunshine. I can see there's shorts on the go. There's big warm jackets on the go as well. There's t-shirts out there. The mechanics don't even know what to wear, let alone what to put on the kart, whether or not slicks or wets. But it looks like this entire grid is on slicks, which I think is probably the right call. I think they've seen that last race and saw the tyre degradation and thought, yes, I think slicks is the way forward on this one. So, big grid of drivers in senior as well. 26 drivers in total for the senior Rotax class. This year's ABKC O-plate 2022. Cuts fire up, they'll head out. Let's have a look at the starting lineup then for Heat 1, Race 3. Kai Hunter and Matthew Higgins will lock out the front row here. Clayton Ravenscroft and James Johnson will round out row number 2. Leo Henderson and Amelia Nelson on row 3. What can Amelia do local to the track? Running on that 3rd row, Guy Cunnington and Will Ellswood on row number 4. Sam Stansbury and Archie Brown, the flying mullets himself, back on the grid here, starting on P10. Brandon Klein-Nanglevort and Theo Frederick on row number 6. Gabe Balanka, the Australian, on the 7th row with Jay Lewis alongside. Cameron Crockett and James Tomset on row 8. Kieran Kay and Joshua Carrad, the E-plate, on row 9. Riley Stevenson and Ryan Luscombe running out the top 20. Poppy Stevenson and Jamie Tilsed on row 11. Ronnie Smith, Lucas Ivaskavicius and Jake Davis and Lewis Gilbert round out the grid. Lights out, we're off and racing. Heat 1, Race 3 is underway for Senior Rotax in towards turn 1. Good clean start this time around, everyone getting round into the middle complex now. This is where it gets tight and twisty. This is where drivers will have to watch out. Couple running slightly wide as they go through. They exit out, back down into the back hairpin. Everyone getting through there nicely. No one running wide into the barriers, which is good to see. So Kai Hunter looking like he's held on to that race lead there as he goes through. As indeed. Matthew Higgins, though, his teammates got up into 2nd place, though. We started from 2nd, so the 2 teammates will work together now. And will probably just drive away from the main pack. I said they're going to work together. They're not going to work together at all. Matthew Higgins dives down the inside. Of course, this isn't a championship race. This is the O plate, ladies and gents. They all want it, so the kind of rule of teammates goes out the book, or goes out the window, I should say. So they will be fighting for position. Kai Hunter, last year's British champs runner-up from his brother Reese. Fighting strong here. Reese is here. He's obviously the team owner for the Hunter Motorsport team now. Running the Amelia Nelson driver 21 for Hunter Motorsport. So Reese is here this weekend. And he was a bit gutted. I spoke to him. He said, oh, I'd rather be racing this weekend than mechanicking. But hey ho, it is what it is. You're a team boss now, Reese. Oh, it's down the inside there. The 22, Gabe Balanka, trying to get moves done, and more moves here coming through as the 99 comes through shot. Ryan Luscombe gaining moves back here at the lead. These two not scrapping too hard now, but keep an eye on Kai Hunter. I suspect he'll probably try and fight back. Leon Henderson there in P3. He's had a good start, up 2 places from Guy Cunnington, who's gained 3. Had a good chat with Guy. He said he hopes it stays wet because Wagon doesn't roll too well in the dry. So there we go. Drivers wanting it to be wet, drivers wanting it to be dry. At the moment, the dry conditions leading the way. James Johnson there, still in P5. Dropped down 1 place from 4th. Having to fight onto that one. Clayton Ravenscroft, fastest lap of the race. Clayton's back, ladies and gents. He's not in the British this year. He's dropped out and he's back here for the O plate. Had a good chat with him. His dad, Steve, mum Victoria here as support. Steve on the spanners. Had a good chat with him during the Paddock show as well, so you can catch that on the Alpha Live channel. Please do keep getting your comments in, ladies and gents. Let us know who your predictions are for this year's O-Plates in the 3 classes that we've got here this weekend. Let us know who you are supporting on the live stream. Do make sure you do drop a like as well. If you are enjoying the content you are seeing here, give the stream a like, because it always helps. There, Guy Cunnington, the GP plate, Kartmasters champion from last year in Senior Rotax, currently in P4. Nelson with the fastest lap of the race. Here is Amelia, currently P12 for Amelia Nelson. Has not had the best start to this one, has dropped 6 places. Now finding her feet again and gaining back up the order. There's Ravenscroft and Ellswood. Line stern. This is behind Guy Cunnington, so this is the battle for 4th place. Here comes Ravenscroft down the inside. Look at that, just absolutely drives past Cunnington there. So this could be what Guy was talking about earlier. Maybe it hasn't got the top end waft that is wanted, because that looked like Ravenscroft just quite easily drove right past there. Ellswood, the 6th seed, with the fastest lap of the race this time around, 46.8. Okay, Balanka now with a warning flag, the Australian driver. Struggling out there at the moment. He's up 2 places, but still currently in P11 for the time being. Here's a look further back. There's Brendan Klein Nanglevort. This is the battle for 7th place. Will Ellswood a little further in front. Archie Brown, who's just managed to get past the Flying Munich, not running a sticker kit this weekend. He said it's not for weight reduction, he's lost them. So he lost his sticker kit. He doesn't know where it is, so he didn't put it on the card. So he's running a plain body kit this weekend. As down the inside there goes Sam Stansbury on Nanglevort. So Nanglevort now down into P9. 2 drivers just behind. That is Balanka and Nelson. The local driver versus the Australian driver. Who would you think was more local to the circuit? 6.5 minutes to go then. There's your leaders coming through. That looks like that's closed up quite a bit, actually. Leon Henderson's closed in. 0.6 of a second now is the gap between the top 3. As they go into the mid-pack section here. It's still Higgins who leads. Kai Hunter looking like he's wanting to fight back. He had a good exit there out of the complex. towards the hairpin now, not going for a move down the inside, thinking against it. Probably seen behind and can see Leon Henderson there. If they do start scrapping, though, this will allow that group behind to close up as, oh dear, the 89 Poppy Stevenson for the JMS Karting has pulled into the pit lane. So I suspect that damage from that crash in warm-up this morning is coming back. Down the start-finish straight. Sideways under braking, getting it tucked in. Such a fast corner here for turn 1 at Mansell Raceway. You gain so much speed and momentum down that start-finish straight, and you can just carry it all through turn 1. It can really play havoc with the neck muscles, and I'm sure these drivers will have been working on that quite a bit, as once again Kai Hunter really wanting to get past here. Higgins not allowing it to do so. He's not defending his Higgins, he's just positioning that car perfectly just to stop Hunter going for a move, but he might not be going for a move. He could just be slotting in behind. You know, these two need to work together to try and open that gap back up, because Leon Henderson, the 94, is a threat there for the Strawberry Racing team, and will go for a move if he sees one open up. Clayton Ravenscroft's doing a fabulous job here. P4. Struggled a little bit in practice, but had a good qualifying yesterday to put it P3. Everyone else just slotting into place. A little look further down. Lewis Gilbert, the O plate's up 10 positions now from 26, now into P16 for the O plate. This is good stuff for Lewis Gilbert, Tenja Racing Engines team. He's going to have to really work hard to maintain that O plate this year after that disqualification from qualifying. Cunnington's dropping down the order on my timing screen. No, he's gone back into place. I think just a timing glitch, so don't worry there, Guy Cunnington fans. All is well. 3.5 minutes to go then. Down they go, and you have to remember these drivers, the track conditions this morning now, they've changed dramatically from their warm-up session. So these drivers really bore the brunt of the rain this morning. It was absolutely torrential. I have to say, every mechanic, driver got absolutely soaked. I popped into the Strawberry tent, actually had a good chat with Guy Cunnington, who's just battling there with Ravenscroft. And he handed me his soaking wet race suit, and there's been an incident at turn 1 just off camera, and the 50 has gone off the track after a bit of contact there. That is James Johnson, and the exhaust went ping there, and no exhaust is attached to the back of that car. Yellow flags out in the first sector, and James Johnson clearly very frustrated with that one. I say anyone recovering that exhaust, don't pick it up with bare hands. Make sure you've got gloves on. In fact, don't touch it at all. It will be absolutely red hot, that exhaust. Coming into the yellow flag section here, so no overtaking for these drivers. Minutes to go then on the timer. Higgins leads from Hunter, Henderson, Ravenscroft, Cunnington, Ellswood, Stansbury, Archie Brown there in P8, Nelson, P9, Balanka now into 10th place. Lewis Gilbert, more places gained. The O plate now into P11. Keep an eye out for that pink helmet and O plate, see how far up the order can get. But it's starting to close up a little bit here, because Ravenscroft is catching up to the back of Henderson faster than what Henderson is catching up to the back of Hunter. As they go through, the two DHR teammates now clearly working together in this latter stage of the race and breaking away from the main pack. Henderson now under pressure, because Ravenscroft has caught up to the back now of Henderson. And down the inside goes Ravenscroft, gets that moves done. And oh dear, that is Brown, the flying bullet himself, and the 21 of Amelia Nelson. And That kart was very much affixed on top of the other. That was in the mid-complex section. So a disaster for the privateer driver. Yeah, he's not going to be too happy with that one, is Archie Brown. And more coming together. That's Kieran Kay and the 42 as well. That's Jay Lewis, the privateer. That's at the bottom section of the track, and that kart not firing. And he's going to have to pull that kart off the track. Debris being cleared up at turn 1. Yellow flags still out. So incidents all the way around this track. Meanwhile, these drivers here have just been cracking on. 18 seconds left on the timer. So they're going to cross the line with a few seconds to go. So 2 laps left in this one. Last lap board will be out this time to these drivers as they go through. Higgins and Hunter absolutely line astern. Ravenscroft, who's slowly clawing in, is running actually faster than these two by some 0.4 of a second per lap. So keep an eye on Ravenscroft coming through. Last lap board will be out this time, like we've just said. Drivers will have to nurse their way through all the yellow flags that will be out there for the time being. I think all the yellows have actually cleared now. And I think everyone deemed to be in a safe place. Now there is still yellow flags in that bottom section, so no moves can be made down at the back section of the circuit. Cross the line then. Final lap board comes out for Senior Rotax Heat 1. Now we'll start to see some moves coming in, because remember, this is just a one-off event. So Hunter will want to get past Higgins, and Ravenscroft gets it done. Clayton Ravenscroft down the inside into the mid-section of the track gets that move done. That's allowed Higgins to break away now. So Hunter became the hunted there and is now in P3 and has got the very close company of Guy Cunnington. Very close behind. Leon Henderson there as well. Has dropped back down to P5 now. But absolutely nothing anyone can do here about Matthew Higgins. Out of the final corner he'll come, and the checker flag will be seen for Heat 1 for Matthew Higgins. Ravenscroft will take second place after that move on Kai Hunter, who takes P3. Cunnington will take fourth place at the GP plate from Henderson. Ellswood will take sixth from Stansbury. Gilbert, with a great recovery drive from the back of the field, will finish P8 from Gabe Belanca. And Theo Frederick, a privateer driver, with a good run there. 2 places gained, finishing P10 from Riley Stevenson. Brandon Klein-Nangelvort finishing P12 from Luscombe. Smith, Tomset, Crockett, Archie Brown, after his coming together there with Amelia Nelson, will finish P17 from Joshua Carrad. Kieran Kay, after his coming together, finishes P19. Jake Davis, I should say, finishes in P20. 5 places gained. Amelia Nelson crosses in 21st, dropping 15 places from Lucas Ivaskavicius, finishing in 22nd. Jamie Tilsed rounding out the field of 23 karts that finished. 3 retirements: Jay Lewis, James Johnson and Poppy Stevenson from heat number 1. Of course, all those results pending Paul Klassen. I'll head into scrutineering to make sure all is well with the wagons. Well, that's the end of the Heat 1 spells. Heat 2s will be coming up, and of course the points from these two will determine where they start for their finals later on today. Karts are lining up on the dummy grid for the next group. So race 4 of the weekend, Heat 2, Minimax, is coming up next. Well, here we are then with Minimax Race 4 Heat 2. There, Scott Marsh, the number 2 seed, on pole position in this one. Grids for this one, I believe, are exactly the same as what they were for Heat 1. They are indeed. So qualifying yesterday, very, very important for your heats today. Tyre pressures Getting checked there for Zingarevich, who did receive a penalty in Heat 1. Let's remind ourselves of what happened in Heat 1 in Mini Max. Noah Wolf took the race win from Scott Marsh and Joshua Graham. Penalties galore out in that one. Ollie Wise, Zingarevich, Adam Wooden, Dalton Hayward, Michael Walker, Matas Mierzanskas as well. William Murtaugh, Kajvich and Noah Pikes, all penalties, and retirement from Aras Miauskis as well in that one. There on your screen is Kajvich, number 74. Took part in our nose cone challenge thingamajig that you can see hopefully on the stream a little bit later on in the day. There is the number 24, Noah Pikes, Chaos Sport driver. Nice little wave there from Joshua Whitcomb, privateer driver, on our timing screen, but running with the Pebble racing team. There's Jack West. Calm, collected, had a good race, did Jack West. Finished P6, gaining 4 places in the first heat. Ollie Wise, the first of our drivers to receive time penalties in that one, finished P7 at the end. There is Noah Wolf, your Heat 1 winner. Again, starting on the second row, but this time we're slick tyres. First heat, as you remember, everyone was on the wet tyres. And all the time being, everyone looking pretty comfortable there. So Spearing, again, starting on the front row alongside Marsh. Spearing finished that race P4 in Heat 1. So we'll have to see what he can do this time around. Of course, hopefully, all stays well. I'm looking up at the clouds, and there are some dark clouds looming, but I don't think there's any rain due. It's literally just a bit cloudy out there. There is Noah's engineer Sam. Sam, who refuses to be interviewed. Oh, but we'll get him one day. He's risking the shorts and t-shirt look this weekend. And a nice shot there of the barely used slick tyres there affixed to Noah Wolf's kart. The iridium visors are back out. The clear visors have been tucked away. Everyone is primed and ready for this race. Heat 2, and now again to remind everyone of how sort of the point system works for this one. Drivers race for intermediate classification points. First place receives 0 points. Second place, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, all the way down. They add up those points after the end of the first 2 heats. That determines their starting grid for for the final later on today. And then the final gives us our O-Plate winner. Last Cut's just making the way to the grid. The 13, a bit of a late arrival there. That was Aras Miauskis, who did retire from the first heat. So hopefully all is running well for Aras. So a little bit of jostling there for the number 32, Michael Walker. Mikey Walker, the privateer, not... well, he's got it fired up. So I think there was a bit of concern there that it wasn't going to fire, but all is well. So karts fire up. They'll make their way out on track. Let's have a look then at the starting lineup for Race 4, Heat 2 for Mini Max as they make their way out onto the circuit. Exactly the same pretty much as what it was for Heat 1. Scott Marsh and Thomas Spearing will take to the front row from Joshua Graham and Noah Wolf. Harrison Whitcomb and William Murtaugh will round out row 3. Michael Walker and Ollie Wise on row 4. Zingarevich and West on row 5. Miauskis and Whitcomb will take row 6. Haywood and Pikes on row 7. Wooden and Veach on row 8. Mierzanskas, Matas will round out the field. Row 9, 17 drivers in total. Let's see if they can get a clean start first time of asking, because they were the only grid in the first heat section that didn't get a green flag first time. There's a look at the intermediate classifications. There are the points that they have earned through Heat 1 so far. So Noah Wolf with the 0 points from his race win. Scott Marsh is 2 from his second. Graham 3 from his third place. Let's see what happens this time around. Green flag's out, we're off and racing. Off they go then in towards turn number 1. Heavy on the brakes there as everyone dives through, everyone running a little bit wide. And Harrison Whitcomb coming through. Whitcomb from the near the back of the grid comes through, almost gets the race lead, slots back into 4th place. Whitcomb from 5th on the grid, looking like he was going for the race lead through turn 1. Slots back into P4. Or P5, I should say. He's not gained anything from that one. It looked like he'd nearly gone to the lead. Wolf then, bit of jostling there, side by side, tried to go for the race lead. There on Marsh and Spearing. But Graham leads the way once again. Early start into this one, same as what happened earlier on. Marsh there in 3rd place, so they'll come across the line. They'll finish lap 1, and a brilliant exit there for Wolf. Absolutely nails the curb, but gets the great momentum out of the corner, goes down the inside. Marsh follows as well, so Graham has to concede the 2 places. Slots back into P3. Now Spearing behind and back down the inside. Here goes Graham, but can't quite get it done, so Graham slots back into 3rd. And again, you've got to remember, all these drivers are just fighting for these positions. It's a one-off event, it's not a championship. They just want the points. They want the best starting place, and Wolf gets nerfed out wide slightly there by Marsh. Marsh gets the move done. Nicely done through the mid-complex section. Out of the bottom corner, and there we go. Whitcomb saying, think. Let's go, let's not scrap. Let's try and close up as much as possible. Wolf, the only one hitting that exit curb. Tucking in as much as possible. Looking out of the slipstream here. Goes Graham, gets it done. Whitcomb tries to follow as well. Wolf holds it, and you can see Wolf there not happy, just saying, what are you doing? We need to catch. We need to catch Marsh, not battle and let him get away. Rightly said as well, because if Scott Marsh does get this early breakaway, he could potentially just walk away with this Heat 2. Again, Wolf running a little wide there out of the mid-complex section. Whitcomb wanting to come through. Of course, remember, Harrison running with that broken rib, so how on earth he's not kicking and screaming in pain, and he's just flying around this circuit, clouting the curbs. We'll never know. Into the slipstream then, everyone tucking in, no positions gained here. Everyone cool and calm. Into the midfield section. Whitcomb down the inside of Wolf. Wolf has to concede the space, almost loses another one to Spearing as well. So Thomas been Spearing trying to get down the inside and successfully does so. Wolf, the driver who was setting fastest lap after fastest lap in Heat 1, driving away with the race win in the dry conditions now, is struggling. Falling down this order, Ollie Wise is there now, Mikey Walker in 6th place. Jack West still there as well. Adam Wooden, another good start for Adam. Zingarevich not with the best starts, dropped 1 place already. Matas Mianzanskas with a good start, up 4 places for the number 12. As down the inside there, and a change for the lead as Graham retakes it. Marsh now down into P2. Whitcomb wanting to get involved in this one. Not managing to get it done. Spearing there in 4th. Look at this long train now that's formed. This is why we like the dry racing conditions, because everyone can get their kart up at the sharp end. Here at Mansell Raceway, down the back straight into the final chicane. No moves gained into the chicane, which is probably the best thing to do. You probably don't want to go for the overtakes into the entry of that chicane, because you'll lose all momentum on the next straight. You'll want to get the move done at the exit, or maybe dive down the inside at turn 1, but then you potentially lose momentum and can get taken out and go a little bit wider and get the undercut done on yourself. Whitcomb now gets back into second, and Marsh back into the lead. So Graham back down into P3 now, and Whitcomb saying, come on, think. Let's try and break away now. But again, this is the classic thing that we see from Minimax, and especially in these open championships. It is open to anyone to take that race win. Team orders go out the windows. And these drivers are all battling for themselves. And he moves down the inside there at turn 1, all fine and clean. No drama here at all. There's Wolf. Still dropping down the order there, still P5. Here's a look a little further back now as well. The E-plate of Dalton Hayward. Just have William Murtagh dive down the inside here, and the number 12 coming through now of Miazanskas. Gets that done. The white helmet there in the Argenti kart. Oh, there, almost. Almost gets the back end absolutely taken out of. That was Kai Vetch coming through. The privateer driver. Also running with the Pebble Racing. Also puts in with the Pebble awning. 6 minutes to go then. Back to the lead and everything closing in nicely. No one breaking away in this top section. Marsh struggling to break away despite the fact that everyone's battling behind, spearing down the inside of his teammate Whitcomb. Whitcomb holds on to it. Now Marsh has got the gap. As down the inside goes Graham. So Sargenti second, third and fourth. And they are all scrapping. Noah Wolf has managed to get back into P4, has demoted one of the Argenti drivers down. It looks like that's Thomas Spearing, who's dropped down now into P5. There's a look at the intermediate classifications. It's all chopped and changed now. So Marsh now, with the lower of the 2 points, would technically start on pole position for the final later on today. Wolf would start alongside from Graham and Whitcomb. So again, it just shows that every position gained here is a potential for a second row start or a first row start. Marsh now driving away with this one. All eyes on this battle for fourth place because everyone's starting to close in now as well. Michael Walker at the back of this one. Young Mikey doing a fabulous job as a privateer. Top privateer at the moment out there. Currently in 6th place. He's got Spearing for company just in front as well. Adam Wooden also in this fray as well. 4.5 minutes to go on this one. Now, the two Argenti drivers of Whitcomb and Graham are working together because they've realised that, oh no, Scott Marsh is driven away. And Spearing wants to be a part of that trio. He's not managing to do so, chucking the kart in, but then losing all momentum on the exit, allowing Wolf to just position his kart back down the inside. And then taking that back again, look at that. Wooden trying to get down the inside as well, the number 9 seed. Trying his hardest to get through this back, he wants to get to the front of this group to then try and catch up to the back of the group in front. But unfortunately, at the way that they're going, they are only going to fall backwards and not go forwards. Position still being gained in the mid-pack section as well. So we keep an eye on our leaders. Colton Hayward, the E-play, up 2 positions, now up into P11. Matas Miazanskas up 5 places, currently the P12, now in P12. Kai Vetch also. Retirement, well, it says retirement. I've not seen him come into the pit lane. Did he drop off? Michael Walker, number 32, on my timing screen, saying he has retired and pulled into the pit lane. That would be a shame because the top privateer running so well in P5 in this one. Whitcomb privateer currently in P16. Noah Pikes in 15th. Harris Miauskis in 14th. Harris not having the best weekend here. Part of the Argenti team, but unfortunately that wagon not rolling too well. Back here at the front, Whitcomb still battling with his teammate Graham for P2. Are they catching up to the back of Scott Marsh? Gap 0.7 of a second. They were slightly faster than him, only by about 3/10 on that last lap, was Graham. So we'll keep a close eye on this group, because I think they are starting to close in. Remember, 8 wheels works better than 4, especially at a circuit with a long straight. And there is, I don't think it's a headwind, I think it's more of a tailwind that they've got down the main straight. So that will still be benefiting them. Yeah, that gap has come down even more now, 0.5 of a second. So they are closing in on Scott Marsh. Again, they got their racing done early in this one, tried to get themselves into a good position. And now slowly starting to reel in Scott Marsh. Noah Wolf is still there in P4, closing in as well. Everyone now spread out in that mid-pack section. Ollie Wise still there in P5 from Spearing, now in P6. Wooden holding on to 7th from Murtaugh. West in 9th, Zingarevich rounding out the top 10. Hayward in 11th from Veach. Then it's Mijauskis, Pikes, Miezanskas, Whitcomb and Mikey Walker with a retirement. 1 minute to go then, plus that one additional lap into the midsection. These two drivers working well together, just trying to close that gap. They have closed it a little bit more now, but it will get to a point where they have to try and keep up this momentum and then just freight train Marsh into an overtake. Because if they suddenly then stop this momentum and slot in behind, it'll just be a group of 3. And there you can see the hand gestures from Graham. Let's just keep going. Let's close up. We're gaining on him. But then at what point does Whitcomb say, I don't think we've got enough time to get past, because that timer is running out. Last lap board will be out this time for these top 3. Gap's gone down a fraction more, but they are just not quite in striking distance. Scott Marsh doing a fantastic job here at holding these two drivers off. Graham and Whitcomb, who have tried their hardest to close in, and they have closed in now. It is a group of 3. They're in the slipstream now. We could potentially see a move in towards turn 1 this time around if he gets the good run here from Graham. Slots in as much as possible. Is he going to pull out of the slipstream? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. Still not close enough for the move. A little wide there goes Marsh, though, out of turn 1. He's now looking behind him. Now he goes defensive. Whitcomb on the outside. Graham has to concede the spot. Whitcomb gets the inside line as they go through here. Didn't lose too much time. Marsh is defensive. Whitcomb follows. Graham to the outside line. He's going to try and get the switch over. Can't quite do it. Graham's going to have a lot of work here to try and get this race win. Marsh still holding on to it into the bottom section. Out they go. Marsh looking over the shoulder. Graham saying, just go. Don't worry about it. I'll be happy with a 3rd place. Out of the final corner. Nothing they can do. But Scott Marsh will take the Heat 2 win from Whitcomb. Graham will finish P3 from Wolf. Wise, Thomas Spearing will finish in P6 from Adam Wooden. William Murtaugh, Jack West will take 9th place from Alexander Zingarevich. Rounding up the top 10 from Dalton Hayward, Aris Mijauskis, Kai Vetch, Noah Pike, Joshua Whitcomb, and Matas Miezanskas will round out the top 16 drivers that finished. Mikey Walker, the only retirement, finishing P17 as the privateer. Well, Scott Marsh with the lowest amount of points at the end of the 2 heats, finishes with 2 points to his name. Will start, if all goes well in scrutineering, on pole position for the final later on. Noah Wolf will finish or start 2nd from Joshua Graham and Harrison Whitcomb for the O-Plate final later on today. There is a look at your post-race or scrutineering results from race 4, heat 2. Marsh, Whitcomb, Graham, the top 3. and only one retirement. Mikey Walker, the 17 privateer, in 17th place. 2 more race heats to go then before the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, race 5, heat 2 for Junior Rotax. It's coming up next. Well, welcome back, ladies and gents. And as you can see, drivers are lined up. Nearly a full grid here for Junior Rotax. 32 drivers line themselves up, ready for their Heat 2. Let's remind ourselves of what happened in Heat 1 earlier on today. Jez Williams took the race win after starting on those slick tyres from the rest of the pack, who were all on wets, bar one other, the 61 of Daniel Tribe, also running the slick tyres in Heat 1 as well, on a very quickly drying track. This time around, though, everyone on the slicks. So this is going to be a much harder race this time around, and a much faster one. There is Jez Williams, Heat 1 race winner. Still starting in that mid-pack section on the 6th row. Freddie Allen there for the Sam Pollock Racing team. Alexander Adams-Acton in the 18. There's Benjamin Bartlett just behind in the number 44. It's Daniel Tribe, the other driver who went for the slick tyres in Heat 1. Thomas Behrman just behind, the 43 privateer of Gregory Akers. Arthur Thacker and George Pillsbury just behind. There's Harry Maynard. Harry Mitchell in the 26. Alfie Davis in the 74. Archie Loynt in the 55. Still running the clear visor out there, so expecting something along the way. Brandon Hill, privateer entry. I think their team name, the Fat Boy Racing Team, I think it's an excellent team name that they're running there for Braden Hill. Charles Green was just in front there. A little look further up there. Matthew Lambert for the BKC Racing Team. Alex Duncan with Argenti. Looking like he's having a good run on this one. Another privateer entry running with the BKC entry team. Leah Purchase in the 71. And Ollie Stevens, a driver who represented the UK in the Rotax Max Grand Finals in Bahrain. Now here at Mansell Raceway fighting for the O-Plate. Adita Kulkarni, excellent drive from Adita in Heat 1 on the wet tyres. Brandon Carr there, back out in this race. Had a mechanical flag in the last one, did Brandon, and got black flagged from the session, so he will have lost all opportunities to gain anything from that one. Carts head out. Let's have a look at the starting lineup then for Junior Rotax Race 5, Heat 2 of the day. Neo Clark and Ted Bradbury will be starting on that front row once again. Vinnie Phillips and Ewan Charman will be on row number 2. Charlie Hart and Blake Ticehurst on row 3. Harry Linden and Brandon Carr on row 4 just behind. Reza Seaworthian and Adita Kulkarni on row 5. Des Williams and Ollie Stevens will round out row number 6. Row 7, Ethan Jeff Hall and Leo Purchase. Freddie Allen and Alex Duncan on row 8. Gustav Foodskolds and Matthew Lambert on row 9. Alexander Adams-Acton and Henry Beaumont on row 10. Rounding up the top 20, Benjamin Bartlett, Charles Green on 11. Daniel Tribe and Brandon Hill on row 12. Row 13, Thomas Behrman and Archie Loynt. Gregory Akers and Alfie Davis. Arthur Thacker, Harry Mitchell, George Pillsbury and Harry Maynard round out the grid. We got through that just in time because they're on the start-finish straight already. Steering checks going on. They're not warming their tyres. They're not allowed to do that. They're just checking the steering to make sure it is connected still. Into the tram lines we go. Is it going to be green flag? It is. Green flag. Off we go then for Heat 2. For Junior Rotax, good start from Ted Bradbury, then covers that inside line as everyone scrambles for position. Bit of jostling in the mid-pack section there. One of the KR Sport carts going wide onto the grass, gets back onto the track, but also dropping several places as they go through the midsection. Now 3 wide through that tight bit there. They've got to be careful that they don't get squeezed into one of those barriers on the exit. Neo Clark retakes the lead. going through the back hairpin. They come down now. Ted Bradbury holds on to P2. Down into the bottom section. Bradbury now goes for the race lead, gets past or side by side with Neo Clark, and the 87 of Vinnie Phillips comes through to take second place. So they'll cross the line. Bradbury leads from Phillips, Clark, Charman, Linden, Hart, Ticehurst, Kulkarni, who's making moves now in the mid-pack as well, in the number 32. Charman there, battling hard with Charlie Hart. Charlie trying to find a way through, but Ewan holding off for the time being. Charlie finds a gap and gets it through, and now Ewan is tumbling down this order. Aditya Kulkarni's got past, as well as the rest of the field as well. So a breakaway for the top three, but their eyes on fourth place for the time being as the number 7 of Harry Linden gets up behind Charlie Hart now. Ewan Charman slowly tumbling down the order. Even Jeff Hall coming up. Reza Seaworthy on the E plate struggling down into P13 now as well. That's what's still raging for second place as Vinnie Phillips wanting to make moves here. Harry Linden gets past Charlie Hart as well. The number 7 getting past the number 10 into the mixed back section. Here comes Kulkarni though. Kulkarni down the inside, who won't have the momentum or the track position to get it done through the second part of this one. Slots back, and looks like Jez Williams getting involved in this one now as well. A huge scrap of cuts as they come through, a massive train of drivers. So fourth place, Harry Linden, now starting to calm down and close in on the group in front. Fifth place still Charlie Hart, Aditya Kulkarni. Group behind now starting to form. Starting with Blake Ticehurst. Battle for the lead heating up now as Vinnie Phillips has been passed by Neo Clark. Clark back up into P2. Bradbury back up into the lead. So still scrapping for that race lead as well. So chopping and changing all the way through this field. It's hard to really keep an eye on because there's overtakes left, right and centre here. Back with the race leaders. And Vinnie Phillips has managed to get back past Neo Clark. And all this retard, they haven't lost any time to themselves. They've not allowed anyone of themselves to break away. But they are still scrapping for position. Bradbury lifting up the flap on the radiator, cooling the engine down. As down the inside there goes Vinnie Phillips, gets that move done on Bradbury. Neo Clark now to the outside, switches, tries to get the move done as well, can't. Slots back, Bradbury, big look over the shoulder there, just to see who's behind us. Neo Clark back down the inside. These three really scrapping now. That's going to allow this whole big group behind to close in. Keep an eye on it because Linden's leading that fourth place group, and he can see them scrapping, and he just knows that they're going to latch onto the back of this very, very quickly. 8 minutes to go then. Down the start-finish straight then, in towards turn number 1. Vinnie Phillips now starting to break away. Lap last time around, personal best for Vinnie Phillips. 47.81 compared to Brandon Carr's fastest lap of the race, 47.35 from 8th place. Of course, he'll be in that group that's just behind this trio. But at this moment in time, keep an eye on that gap. It's 1.5 seconds. Now that they've stopped scrapping, though, that might open up just a little bit. Stop scrapping, though. That might open up just a little bit. So, Phillips still leading from Clark. Bradbury. This is the battle for fourth place. Charlie Hart leading this group from Aditya Kulkarni. Brandon Carr there in P6. The number 30. Got the close company of Blake Ticehurst in the 36. Just behind there, the 51 of Ethan Jeff Hall. Looking comfortable in the 51. Just been past, or just got past Harry Linden there as well, I believe. Ollie Stevens has gone up as well, I believe, in the number 9. Karting has indeed. So moves being made left, right and centre here. Still 6.5 minutes to go of this one. There's Ethan Jeff Hall, the 51, absolutely nailing it through that chicane. It's so fast through that section. It's absolutely planted. Brilliant stuff from these young drivers in the junior category. A very tough class as well, as of course the Minimax class will be disappearing in the near future. Drivers are going to have to decide where they'd like to go, and this class here, Junior Rotax, will be one of them. There's a look at the intermediate classification. Points gained through heats 1 and 2. Neo Clark is leading that one with the 3 points from Ted Bradbury's 4. Nita Kulkarni's managed to get up into 3rd in the point standings from Vinnie Phillips. Jez Williams, though, with his 11 points, that will be helped by his heat win with 0 points, currently running in P11 at the moment. So starting in that mid-pack section, as it's all starting to get chopping and changing here again, because back comes Vinnie Phillips on Ted Bradbury. Neo Clark back down the inside. Look at this now. Charlie Hart's closed right in. So all this group now looks like one big group. Aditya Kulkarni there as well. Brandon Carr, all in this group. 5 minutes to go. Big look over the shoulder there for Bradbury. Through the final chicane, Clark there still in second, not going for any moves yet. And these drivers have got to be so careful, because any move that they make will have to be well timed. They don't want to lose any time. If you're being overtaken, it's probably best to just let the overtake happen. Don't fight it, because you don't want to lose any time. These three have lost tremendous amounts of time. They were 1.5 seconds clear a few laps ago, but now one big train from 1st to 8th. Ethan Jeff Hall at the back of this group as well. Any of these drivers could take this heat win, and of course that could wildly change the point standings, because now with the chopping and changing, Bradbury now leads the intermediate classification from Neo Clark and Aditya Kulkarni, who would start on the 2nd row, but back down the inside there goes Neo Clark, gets it done through turn number 1 here. Vinnie Phillips now back into P2 as well, so Bradbury 1st to 3rd now has got to have to deal with Aditya Kulkarni just behind as well. Bradbury looks over the shoulder just to make sure it's clear, dives back down the inside, gets past Vinnie Phillips, and here comes Aditya Kulkarni. Kulkarni down the inside of Phillips, gets it done. Brandon Carr trying to follow as well, can't do it. Slots back into place. Neo Clark looking comfortable now at the front, bit of a gap now from himself and Charlie Hart, who's now up into P2. So it's Thule Motorsport, from Sam Pollitt Racing, from Argenti, from Strawberry, from KR Sport. 5 different teams in the top 5 here. And look at that move there, Brandon Carr. Wow, 2 for 1, and down the inside into the mid-complex. I don't know if he was even on the track at that point when he made that move, but wow, down the inside gets Vinnie Phillips and Aditya Kulkarni, moves up into P3. I don't know if that move was meant to happen or if it was an accident, but down the inside there goes Brandon Carr, and let's have a look at what happened there, because it happened so quick. I don't think we even saw. So coming into the midfield complex, yeah, oh no, it was just a move on a move. There he goes. So Vinnie Phillips went for the move on Aditya Kulkarni, and Brandon Carr went for the move on both. Got it done. Absolutely fantastic stuff from those drivers. They're going to have to close back up now because they've lost a lot of time and momentum as they come through now. That gap now 0.7 of a second from Vinnie Phillips to Charlie Hart. Doesn't seem like a lot, but in karting, that's about a century for them. And less than 2 minutes to go. Still plenty of time in this race. But Neo Clark, for the time being, looking very comfortable. Charlie Hart there doing a good job. A little look further back as well in this one. Blake Tyser still there, P8. Harry Linden, Gustav Utzkoff, Freddie Allen, Ewan Charman, Reza Seaworthian, Harry Beaumont also running in the next big group that's just behind this one. Leo Purchase, Benjamin Bartlett, Ollie Stevens, Daniel Tribe with good running in this one. Alex Duncan, Alfie Davis, they're also in the third big group out on circuit. Harry Maynard, Thomas Behrman. Harry Maynard, good run in this race for the privateer, up 11 positions just behind Alfie Davis, also up 8 positions, 20th and 21st from Thomas Behrman. Charles Green, Alexander Adams-Acton, also 23rd and 24th place, they're having a good little scrap. Gregory Akers, running in 25th from Brandon Hill. Harry Mitchell and Arthur Thacker, the top 28. Race leaders coming through, back markers getting out of the way there. Who was that they were getting out of the way of? That potentially Archie Loynes. We have lost Matthew Lambert from this race. The number 80 kart has retired. So clouds looming over the circuit. Track is getting darker. Still no rain in the air. This could play havoc here in this one. There is Uzakovs just going through. Timer strikes 0 as they cross the line, so last lap board didn't come out this time. They have got one more lap to go, this one and one more. Neo Clark still leading. He's got a nice comfortable gap here to Charlie Hart. Charlie Hart's done a fantastic job to get to that position. Charlie Hart, of course, starting a little further back in this one, 5th place on row 3 to fight through, finish 2nd. Currently sitting 6th in the intermediate classification points, ties with Blake Ticehurst, but of course with the earlier race finish, with the higher race finish, we'll put him on top. There is a look at the points. Well, if it finishes like it does, Neo Clark will start the final on pole position. Bradbury, despite the fact that he's now down in P4, will start from 2nd. Kulkarni now has just been bumped up to start P3 on the 2nd row for the final. But a few more corners to go. I don't think Charlie Hart's got anything left to try and get that move done on Neo Clark. Into the final corner we go, and it looks like this is going to be a comfortable finish then for Thule Motorsport's Neo Clark. The number 5 across the line will take Heat 2. Win in Junior Rotax from Charlie Hart. Vinnie Phillips will take 3rd place from Ted Bradbury. Aditya Kulkarni takes 5th from Ethan Jeff Hall. Brandon Carr taking 7th from Blake Ticehurst. Harry Linden and Gustav Utzkoff rounding out the top 10. Freddie Allen takes 11th from Ewan Charman. Reza Seaworthian in 13th place. Henry Brumont, Leo Purchase, Ollie Stevens, Alex Duncan, Benjamin Bartlett, Thomas Behrman, Alfie Davis, Harry Maynard, Daniel Tribe, Alexander Adams-Acton, the top 23. Charles Green, Gregory Akers, Harry Mitchell, Brandon Hill, Jez Williams, and Arthur Thacker. George Spilsbury, Archie Loynes, and Matthew Lambert, the only retirement from the race. BKC Racing Team finishing in 32nd place. Carts come in, they'll head to scrutineering, make sure all is well, and we'll see them back for their final later on today. The last then of the heats is about to take to the circuit. Race 6, Heat 2, Senior Rotax is coming up next. So Senior Rotax, Race 6, Heat 2 on the dummy grid. They're getting themselves lined up ready for their second and final heat before their finals later on this afternoon. Let's have a look at the race results from Heat 1 to see who finished where and who picked up a penalty, if they did. So, top three, of course, Matthew Higgins from Kai Hunter and Guy Cunnington at the end of that one. Ravenscroft picked up a penalty, unfortunately. Finished that one P7. Ronnie Smith also picking up a penalty. Amelia Nelson as well. Lucas Ivaskavicius also with a penalty. 3 retirements. Jay Lewis, James Johnson and Poppy Stevenson. Hopefully this time around everyone can get through nice and well. There, the 75 on your screen. That is Clayton Ravenscroft. Getting themselves ready. The 94, Leon Henderson, the Scottish driver, primed and ready. The GP plate, Guy Cunnington. Last few words of encouragement. There again, the 37, Sam Stansbury. Starting from 9th place on the 5th row. Brandon Klein-Nangelvoort there, hopefully looking for a better race this time around. Finished P12, so lost a position, didn't gain any places. There, the Australian, Gabe Belanca in the 22. Wanting to gain positions here. The 88 of Cameron Crockett had not a bad run in his last one. He did stayed in the same place, didn't gain anything, didn't lose anything, so he was all right at the end of that one. Poppy Stevens back on the grid, so whatever was wrong with the car hopefully has now been repaired. And there, the 96 Ronnie Smith and Jake Davis at the back of the grid on that inside row. There is your row plate. Lewis Gilbert from last year, winner of this race at Warden Law for the Potenza Racing team, wanting to maintain that O plate, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him to do that. Finished in P8 in Heat 1 after gaining 18 positions from the back of the grid. Had the same conditions as what they've got now, so all these drivers were running the slick tyres in their Heat 1. So nothing's changed overall. There, look a little further up the order. James Tomsip in the 98, Jay Lewis in the 42, Theo Frederick there in the 26, Archie Brown. We had that coming together with Amelia Nelson back on the grid, and that's 79. Will Ellswood, the Chaos Sport team running that number 6. There is Amelia Nelson on the front. James Johnson also back on the grid. You can just see there in the Tony Kart livery in the number 50, starting on the 2nd row. After that coming together at turn 1, that exhaust has been reattached. And hopefully a better running this time around. Matthew Higgins, again, you can just see there, primed and ready to get going for Heat 2. There is the back of James Johnson, and green flag goes up. Karts head out. Let's have a look then at the starting lineup for Senior Rotax Race 6 Heat 2. Kai Hunter and Matthew Higgins, of course, locking out that front row. The two teammates, what can they do this time around? Clayton Ravenscroft and James Johnson round out row number 2. Leon Henderson and Amelia Nelson on row 3. Guy Cunnington and Will Ellswood on row 4. Sam Stansbury and Archie Brown on row 5. Brandon Klein-Nangelvoort and Theo Frederick will round out row number 6. Gabe Belanca and Jay Lewis on row 7. Cameron Crockett and James Thompson on the next row. Kieran Kay and Joshua Carrad, Riley Stevenson and Ryan Luscombe on row 10. Poppy Stevenson and James Tilstead on row 11. The rest of the field slotting through as well. Ronnie Smith, Lucas Ivaskavicius, Jake Davis and Lewis Gilbert at the back of the grid as well. There's a look at the intermediate classifications of what happened in heat number 1 for the top 8. What's going to happen this time around? Here we go then. Revs raise into the tram lines. Lights are out. We're off and racing. Good start then from the front row as it will go through down the inside. Ravenscroft almost going for the race lead. A bit of contact, a bit of side-by-side jostling as they go through. But Ravenscroft holds on to it just about. Henderson to the outside takes second. They'll have the optimal line as they come through, but I think round the outside there was that potentially Amelia Nelson, who's taken the lead in this one. Oh, but there's two cuts off. It's Guy Cunnington is one of them. And who was the other? I'm not quite sure. Potentially, I think it was Amelia Nelson. I thought I saw Amelia round the outside going for the race lead. And, yeah, there it is, the 73 off the track. That's Kieran Kay for KR Sport, the 73. So that's a nightmare for Kieran Kay. Kieran, a very experienced karter here in the UK. Not how he wanted the O-plate to go. So, Higgins leads the way then from Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft from Kai Hunter. James Johnson still there in fourth place. Wanted to get past Leon Henderson just behind as well. So a big train forming from second place backwards. Down into the bottom section they go. Nice and clean, nice and tidy. Back into the slipstream. Ravenscroft just holding that inside line. Everyone doing a good job. Down they go. Big look over the shoulder there for Ravenscroft. Kai Hunter not fighting that move just yet. Not wanting to potentially open up a gap for anyone to go down the inside. James Johnson there wanting redemption after the retirement in Heat 1. Ravenscroft here struggling to keep up with Matthew Higgins for the time being. Higgins still breaking away that gap just under a second. Just over a second now as they break the next timing beam. So at this moment in time, Matthew Higgins is running away with this one fairly quickly. I'm sure Kai Hunter will want to do something about that and get past Ravenscroft as quickly as possible, but for the time being is not going for a move down the inside. Just slotting into place. Again, all these drivers very experienced. All of them have won a race at some point in their career, so they know what they need to do. But at this moment in time, they are not doing it. They do need to work together, to which they are doing, but that gap is just ever growing. Someone's going to need to make the move here to try and close that gap. For the time being, Clayton Ravenscroft is doing his bit here, but I don't think it's enough. There's that gap now, 1.8 seconds across the line. Higgins is now breaking away with this one, 46.43 for Higgins, fastest lap of the race. On that last lap, it's just had it taken away actually from Guy Cunnington, the GP plate, who's currently in 24th place. Down 17 positions. It's not been a good start for quite a few of our drivers. Joshua Carrad, the E-plate dropping 2 places, currently in P20. Amelia Nelson dropping 15, currently P21. Archie Brown, 22nd place from James Tilsed. Guy Cunnington, Cameron Crockett, and retirement from Kieran Kay. Big movers out in this one though. Ronnie Smith, the 96 for Thule Motorsport, currently in P12. The 96 up 11 positions. Lewis Gilbert again, much better start this time around, up 12 positions for the O-plate, currently in P14 in these early stages. Would currently put him 10th in the intermediate classification for Lewis Gilbert for maintaining his O-plate for this year. So now looking like Clayton Ravenscroft found some waft because he's managed to break away from the Kai Hunter group behind and is starting to close in on Matthew Higgins. So potentially that could have been tyre pressure setup there. Now we saw that Ravenscroft was just checking his tyre pressures before they started. So maybe, just maybe, they'd done them to slowly come in, because now we're starting to see that gap come down. 1.8 seconds is the gap this time around. It was 1.9 on the last lap. So we'll keep a close eye on that gap. Everyone else now just in position. No one going for the moves just yet. And again, just watching the lap as they go through. Because as they come down here in towards turn number 1, it's such a heavy braking zone, but you can carry so much speed. It's very easy to over-brake and slow down too much. There's so much speed you can carry. The drivers are right on the edge. You see as they go through, they're really leaning into the corner. As, of course, the neck muscles struggling to keep up, and they go through the infield complex. They've got the long straight here into the hairpin. Again, very wide. Open circuit, this one, Mansell Raceway. Of course, Nigel Mansell buying this circuit many years ago. Of course, Nigel in the UK at the moment. I believe he's at Goodwood, best for the speed this weekend. Unfortunately, couldn't be here at Mansell Raceway, which is a shame. But for the time being, everyone doing a good job here, all slotting into place. No dramas whatsoever. Nursing the carts around the lap. Now, Ravenscroft has closed that gap a little bit more now. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Still about 5 minutes to go of this race. And down at the bottom section of the track there, it looks like Kai Hunter has closed up now once again to Ravenscroft. Kai Hunter with the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, 45.92. The only driver actually to get into the 45s. So Kai Hunter has found some pace now. Gap 1.4 seconds. So they are slowly taking a 10th out each lap. That's not enough. They're going to need to do some more there. Because Matthew Higgins, for the time being, is just going to drive away with this one. Nothing to worry about whatsoever. These drivers so close to each other. We say it all the time. It is so difficult to drive so close. And a hand up there from Kai Hunter, so not overly happy with something. Maybe just thinking, how is the gap not closing? Why are we not catching? Well, you are catching slightly, Kai. But it's very slow progress. About a 10th a lap, as I said before. 1.3. You see, they only took around 2/200ths of a second out that one. They're not gaining enough time each lap. There's the intermediate classifications. Higgins still leading it. If he wins this one, 2 race wins under the belt. Starts with 0 points. And will start on pole position. Kai Hunter from 3rd will still start on that front row, which is crucial. Ravenscroft can't do any more, and a black flag for Lucas Ivaskavicius. There. Not sure why that's come around. Where is Lucas out there? Lucas currently running in P20. Thule Motorsport driver. Obviously not done something to the steward's liking out there. Still the battle rages on for P2. Here's 3rd place. A little further back. Going through. 4th place also having a good little scrap. Leon Henderson under pressure from Will Ellswood. James Johnson still there this time around. His exhaust still firmly attached to the back of his kart. But again, now here goes Kai Hunter down the inside of Ravenscroft, gets that move done. Kai now taking 2nd place. But was that too late? There's still 2 minutes to go on this one. Has Kai run out of time to close up to Matthew Higgins? Because after that move, that gap's opened up again. 1.7 seconds now. As they go down into the bottom section here, what can Ravenscroft do? Is he just going to push Kai Hunter along now? He's not fighting back straight away, which is good to see. If he did that one, they would really lose time on Matthew Higgins, and they have taken out a 10th of a second already. So it's Kai Hunter's turn now to try and close up on Matthew Higgins, but I think they've left it a little too late. 1 minute 30 seconds plus that one lap on the board. Keep an eye on this one, as looks like James Johnson has managed to get up into P4 there. He has indeed. So James Johnson, privateer, up into P4. It looks like the 42 of Jay Lewis has followed him along. Has indeed. So 2 privateers here running 4th and 5th in the senior Rotax category, which is excellent to see. Oh, there, look at the adjustments there from James Johnson under braking. Just had to really settle the kart there. Not something you would usually see in the braking zone of turn 1 here at Mansell Raceway. Looks a lot cleaner through the second hairpin. So all well there. Out of the complex that they go. Down into the back section of the track. Klein Nangelvoort still there as well. Locked in. Not going for any moves yet. Timer striking 0 in 20 seconds. So last lap board will be out this time for our race leaders who have already crossed the line. Gap 1.4 seconds now. So mistake. This isn't about a 4th place. It is still Ellswood and Henderson who are in 4th. This is about a 6th place. Johnson and Jay Lewis. Well, timer strike 0 though. With a battle at the front, Higgins still leads. Kai Hunter still there in 2nd place with Ravenscroft. There's Ellswood and Henderson. That is the battle for 4th place. This is the battle for 6th down. Gilbert's got up into that group now as well. So Gilbert, good running, up 17 places, currently in P9. Final lap board is out then for the final heat of the day. Do they go through the midfield complex, back down into hairpin 2? No positions gained or lost in this section here. Oh, more battling going on further up there, as that was Henderson battling with Ellswood, and Henderson's got the move done and it's gone up into P4. There is your current race leader, Matthew Higgins, who has got one more corner to go then in Heat 2. Wasn't enough time for Kai Hunter to close up, so Higgins will take 2 out of 2 in the heats and will start on pole position for the final later on today. Hunter will take 2nd from Ravenscroft's 3rd. Henderson will finish 4th. From Ellswood, Johnson, Klein Nangelvoort, Lewis, Gilbert, Stansbury, the top 10. Then it was Theo Frederick in 11th place. And the rest of the field slossing through as well. Great result then for senior Rotax, and a great result for Matthew Higgins. He will start that final on pole position with the minimum points needed for it, 0 points. Kai Hunter will start 2nd from Leo Henderson and Clayton Ravenscroft. The 4, 8 and 10 points. So plenty of action coming up a little bit later on. Roughly around 30 minutes until the finals will be taking place, so do stick with us. We have plenty of videos that were filmed yesterday through the practice day. We had a fantastic game of what was it? It was attach the nose cone to the kart sort of thing. We had 3 competitors run and do that, so that will be a fun watch. A couple of driver interviews as well, and we'll be back with the racing a little bit later on. But we'll remind ourselves of the finishing results of this one. Of course, Matthew Higgins taking the win from Kai Hunter, Ravenscroft, Henderson, Ellswood, Johnson, Klein Nangelvoort, Lewis, Gilbert and Stansbury taking the top 10. Theo Frederick, Riley Stevenson, Poppy Stevenson taking the top 13 spots, from Amelia Nelson finishing P14, Guy Cunnington, Gabe Belanca finishing in P16, from Ronnie Smith, Ryan Luscombe, James Thompson, Archie Brown, Jake Davis, Joshua Carrad, James Tilsed and Cameron Crockett. Top 24 who finished that one, Lucas Ivaskavicius with a black flag retires and finishes in 25th place from the retirement of Kieran Kay in 26. So we'll be back in around half an hour's time, ladies and gents, for the Rotax O-Plate finals. Hello everyone and welcome to the, what are we calling this? The nose cone dash relay sprint race thingamajig. We have got 3 competitors who are going to be competing against each other to race to get their nose cone from one end of the paddock. They've got to run it back and then fix it onto their cut, then they've got to run all the way back to then win a Vera Tools cat. Let's meet our competitors. Competitor number 1, who are we please?
Kai.
Kai, and you race in the number 74 in Minimax?
Yes.
Excellent. Kai, are you feeling confident?
Not really.
Excellent, good man, good man. Keep up this good spirits. Who is here in second place in the E-plate? Who are you?
C. Devon. I race for BKC Racing in Junior Rotax.
Excellent. And then our final contender, who are we?
Dalton Hayward.
Dalton Hayward, and you race in the E-plate as well, in Minimax as well. Okay, all 3 of our drivers are competitive. Are the crowd ready? Yes, lovely. Okay then, on your marks, in 3, 2, 1, go! They're off. It's a good start. Very good start there for Junior. Oh, he's fumbled. He couldn't pick up his nose cone. There we go. They're run down to get the cuts up. It's Junior in the lead, but hopefully what can the Minimax do? Cuts got to get on there. Oh, everyone's struggling a little bit here. Oh, a bit fumbling. Looking good here on the 74. Remember, they have to run back. They have to run back to the other line. And our replay's gone already. Junior. Oh, he's taken it. There it is. Our winner. The rest of the cut, they're still fumbling over here. Oh, no, he's got it. Still fumbling. You can't help him, Dan. You can't help him. There we go, we're doing it. We nearly got it. There we go. Lower it, you've got it. Oh, dear me. It's all gone wrong. But we've got our winner. Come on down. I'm not walking all the way up there. Come on. Oh, good stuff. They still got it. There we go. Round of applause. Well, Reza, you did well. I mean, you're a junior competing against the Minimaxes here. I feel like you had a slight advantage there, so just a bit. But do we feel pleased about yourself?
Of course.
You beat people younger than you. Well done. Excellent. You can be proud. You got a good family there. Let's chat to our second place man. Second place, not bad.
Yeah. It had to be put on properly. I put it in as if it was pushed in, and then they said no, so I had to change it. So that's how I was delayed.
There we go. Well, it's still a solid attempt, isn't it? Second place, you got it on there, no dramas whatsoever. There's one that is actually not managed to get it on at all, so you've done well. There we go. Let's have a chat with our third place. Look, what's gone on here? What happened? It's not got what? Yeah, I mean, to be fair to yourself, I remember you didn't know how to do this about 10 minutes ago, did you?
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, it's going back on that. I'm thinking, are we going to let Dad do it?
Yeah.
Let Dad do it, and then hopefully it stays on for the rest of the weekend as well.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Well, hey? No, I can't do it at all. So we're on the same boat here. Well done. Well, there you go, our 3 winners. And again, big round of applause, please, for our number E-plate winner. Round of applause. Yeah, thank you. There we go. And we need to give him a hat. And we've got a third place Vera Tools cap there. Well done. You can take that one. Wear that with pride, lad. Well done. I've got you a second place Vera Tools Motorsport UK cap. There we go. Well done. Second place. First place, as promised. Well done. You've got a Vera Tools cap. How do you feel? Amazing. Excellent stuff there. Well done. Welcome to the paddock here at Mansell Raceway. I'm here with the Hunter Motorsport team, one who is actually a Hunter, Reese Hunter joining us, former driver, now team boss, and Amelia Nelson, driver for the Hunter Motorsport team. Reese, we're at Mansell, it's lovely weather, it's the Rotax Oak Plate. How are we feeling?
Well, the weather wasn't too nice this morning, to be fair, but yeah, it's come out quite nice at the moment. As long as it stays like this, it should be a good weekend, to be fair.
Now, tell us, what does it feel like to go to, civvy life now? You know, you're no longer a driver, you don't have the fame, really, you're team boss, you know, what's it like?
Well, it's just a new challenge, to be fair. It's if you've been able to do it like I have and then try to make other drivers produce results, it's quite an achievement when they do, to be fair, and I just get as much enjoyment myself out of from when I raced to now when I'm creating future champions.
Amelia, we were just speaking a moment ago, practice 4 was just out on the circuit, 4th fastest in that one out of 26, I think, drivers, so he's doing, well, yourselves are doing a good job.
He's doing all right, he's doing all right.
Well, you've got more of the hard work to do, you've got to drive the thing.
Yeah, this is my home track, so I am quite quick around here, and I think we've got a little bit more to come, so we're hoping for some top 5 finishes tomorrow.
Are you getting good tips from former British champion himself? Is he giving some good advice?
Yeah, he is giving some good advice. There's no better man to talk to, really, about driving around here, especially.
Like a questionable yeah, that is like, yeah, kind of, yeah, I don't know. What do you say to that, Reece?
Well, yeah, out of me and Kai, I don't think there's anyone better to kind of learn off. Well, I hope there isn't, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll see if the results show that.
Well, we'll have to find out because there's plenty of racing up tomorrow, or if you're watching this now. Yeah, but talk us about, like you say, home track. You're comfortable with it. How many times have you actually raced here? How many laps have you done around this circuit?
I've done quite a few, but budget for us has always been like a limiting factor. So I raced here for the championship for a few years, which is like 1 meet in a month. So yeah, nothing can really prepare you for the mixed conditions though. So hopefully tomorrow's weather will stay constant and we can actually get our heads into the racing.
Definitely so. There's a lot of drivers here. There's a lot of talent here. We've got GP plates, we've got former road plates here racing, of course. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough old challenge, but great to have you here in the paddock, Amelia. And Reece, great to see you back in the paddock as well. And, yeah, we're hoping for a good weekend. Predictions for the weekend?
Well, if we can get into the top 5, I'll be over the moon. And if we can scrape a podium, maybe a couple of lucky dropouts, then we might be on the podium.
Amelia, what do you think?
I agree.
Agree. Good at that. Look at that. Teamwork sorted. No problem here. Well, from us here, we'll be back in just a moment because there'll be more races coming up soon. Hello everyone and welcome to Mansell Raceway. We're here for the Paddock show this evening, but it's just myself here tonight, but that's absolutely fine because we're going to go talk to some drivers and, well, there's no easy way of saying it, we're just going to annoy them. So let's go for a walk, people. Do join me along this one. We're going to just go chat to some privateers, we're going to probably go chat to some teams as well. But of course, the reason why we're here this weekend is, of course, the Rotax O-Plate, the Open Championships. The drivers here are going to be competing for that coveted O-Plate, and we're here with the, well, I'm guessing the JMS team. There's drivers everywhere, and I think I see hidden away in the corner. You thought you could, but I can imagine so. Is this your wagon here, the 87?
Wagon,
yeah, looking relatively clean, bit scuffed up.
Yeah, it was a little bit wet earlier, but no, we didn't really clean it for qualifying, but for the races, hopefully it'll be looking a bit more shiny. So
let's hope so.
Thank you very much, mate.
No problem. Best of luck there, Mr. Stevenson's. Let's see, who else have we got here? We've got seniors, but 3 seniors. Oh, this is looking very shiny, this one. It's all new sticker kits on it and everything. I don't know whose kart it is. The 98. Well, I should probably get my results out on my screen. Some cleaning there. How's it going? How's it going?
Good. Hello, it's Sash Long with GMS. Yeah.
Cleaning? What we're cleaning there?
Just prepping the cart for tomorrow. It's gotten a bit grimy throughout the day. Just trying to put it right, ready for tomorrow.
It was very wet this morning, wasn't it?
It was very wet. It was, yeah.
Very well aware of that one, but it's
a good day, yeah.
A good day, yeah. Where do we qualify?
Qualified 19th, but it's our first kind of real event here, so not too bad.
Yeah, a solid attempt. Let's say first real event here, so first time racing here, or?
Had one practice day, really, but and that's it. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so to be there, 19th, that's not a bad effort, to be fair. It's, like I say, a tough old track, this Mansell Raceway. It's very fast,
very
taxing.
Smooth, very consistent, and there's some really good drivers out there. So.
Definitely so. Well, best of luck for tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend.
This is Alexander Adams-Acton's cart. Yeah. Look out for him tomorrow.
Yeah, we shall do indeed. There we go. Heard it here first from the GMS tent. Perfect. Hello all. Right, let's go and, well, let's go for a ponder and talk to some privateers. I'll get my results up on my phone. I probably should have done that straight away, but I didn't because I am foolish. So let's get that up on my screen. Oh, look at that. It's already loaded. Perfect. Right, here's a car. It's the number 26. It's a senior 26. Who is senior 26? Who is senior 26? Who is Theo Frederick? Hello.
I met you yesterday.
You did indeed meet me yesterday, yes.
Well.
You work here. Look at that. You work here, you race it. So some would say you've probably got an advantage.
I would, but we're only allowed to use Rotax carts 3 days a month because of noise issues. So I can't test my Rotax more than others. But I do know the track quite well as well, so...
a benefit.
Yeah, it's a benefit. It is a benefit.
How did we do in qualifying? This is, yeah.
It's P13. So
P13?
we're top half, just.
Yeah,
top half, you know. I think we'll go forwards tomorrow rather than backwards.
Yeah.
We're normally quicker at the start of the day when there's low grip. Like in practice, the first time practice, I came third. But qualifying is not time practice free. It's qualifying. So.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of one shot, get it right. Or you're at the back.
Yeah, so 13th, but move forward, hopefully. But I don't want it to rain. We're normally quite quick in the dry, but not in that session. But normally quite quick in the dry.
Normally quite quick. Well, I mean, you hope it doesn't rain. Yeah. I mean, but mid-pack, even in the dry conditions at Mansell Turn 1, that's going to be that's going to be tough.
It's going to be chaotic, but yeah, I don't know what to expect really. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're the highest of the privateers, so I'll take that.
All right.
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
Well, best of luck tomorrow then, Theo. I see you got some Haribo sweets there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got lovely. Thank you very much. All right, then. Thank you, Theo. Best of luck tomorrow for Theo. Obviously, works here at the racetrack. Sorry if you're going to hear chewing now. It's probably going to sound absolutely grotesque. Here's another car. Hello. Who's our driver here? Sorry, do you mind if I squeeze through there? So there's no numbers on the car. So, right, who are you?
Daniel Tribe.
Daniel Tribe. Right, okay. Daniel, you're in juniors?
Yep.
Excellent. How's today been?
It's been alright. Been on the pace off and off, so hopefully you can do better tomorrow.
Hopefully. Dad and lad?
Yeah, basically.
Excellent, love it. Easy up on it. Was the car in the back of this?
Yeah, it's in the back of this.
How'd you squeeze it in?
Oh, just take it apart, bits and bones.
It's a special way of doing it.
Yeah, special way of doing it. Take it all apart, then put it all back together again.
Always in the same way.
Always in the same. Lovely. But the car completely stripped off here, getting all cleaned up, ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, we are. Want to be fast
Another
tomorrow.
day tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. Another day, and where are we starting, sorry, in that one?
23rd, we didn't really get the best out of the kart on qualifying, so hopefully you can do some damage tomorrow, really.
I like that, yeah. Not to the cart, but yeah, no, exactly. Well, best of luck. Enjoy tomorrow, enjoy your race today. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, there you go, look at that. Love that, lad and dad, in the back of in a van. Yeah, they squeeze it in, no dramas whatsoever. Let's have a little look further down. Let's go, Sam Pollitt Racing. Let's have a chat here. Right, evening all. Evening all. Now here's a man with style. He's got the same glasses as me, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we have here?
Tom Markhill.
Tom Markhill,
no,
right.
Not really, no. I'm Charlie Hart's dad, Chris.
Oh, right, Charlie Hart's, right, Chris. Right, Chris, well, how's Charlie done today?
He's done very well. It was a lot of rolling over in that quali. Ended up P5, but I think we're all right from there, aren't we, Charlie?
Top man. But yeah, no, it's a tough old track, is Mansell. It's quite fast. It's quite taxing on the drivers. But like you say, put it fifth. Yeah, that's a good result, isn't it? You can be happy with that. You happy with that?
I'm happy with that. Charlie, you happy with that?
He's not listening.
Yeah, it's Charlie. It's not. Are you happy with that?
You happy with fifth? Yeah. Excellent, cool. Yeah, he's hydrating. That's what he's doing. Right. Well, yeah. The rest of the Sam Pollitt, I think it was a pretty good qualifying. I think for Sam Pollitt Racing, had a couple up there, didn't we?
Ted's P2. What else have we got? Blake's B6 and Freddie's P14 or something. Yeah. 13.
Yeah. So solid effort then.
It's all good.
Round of applause. Well done. There you go. There you go. Yeah, team spirit. That's what we like to see. Perfect. But tomorrow, very different day from today. Obviously, today we're practicing qualifying. Heats are coming up tomorrow again, and you've got drivers starting all the way through the field. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be close.
It is going to be close. Any predictions?
Charlie Hart's going to win, without a doubt.
Look at that. He likes that. Charlie likes that. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Charlie. Thank you. There we go. Sam Pollitt Racing, always a nice bunch of people to have a chat to. Cheery. In the paddock. Let's head up this way. Now, there is the Racing Perfection weekend so far as well. Let's dive into here and see who we can find, because they tried to run away from us earlier, but we've come back. Put your blouse on. We don't want to see that one. Excellent. Right, let's have a seat. Oh, right, I'm going to squeeze in here. Right, okie dokie. Who do we have here?
Cameron Crockett.
Cameron Crockett. Cameron, what class are you in?
Senior Rotax.
How did today go?
It was pretty bad in practice, but I made it back in qualifying for 15th, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's not bad. 15th? Who's on your spanners?
Timmy's gone.
He's gone, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Do we want to stick around? Is he hiding in there? Can we go in there? Can we go in there? Come on. Toilet, apparently. No. Right, okay. We'll leave him to it. He's hiding from the camera. But, yeah, I'll come back round there. But predictions for tomorrow, what are we thinking?
Probably going to bin it or something, you know.
No, don't say that. You're not going to bin it. You're going to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mansell Raceway, have you been here many, many times before? Or?
Yeah, I've been here a bit.
Been here a bit?
Recently.
Not recently?
No.
How long ago?
4 months ago.
Well, that's fairly recent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people here who have not been here for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It's a very awkward atmosphere in here. We'll leave that one promptly. Right, okay, here's the Argenti team. See, another very big team. We've got a couple of Potenza. Oh, right.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. How's you?
I'm all right.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mansell Raceway for the Motorsport UK Rotax O Plate. It's the Open Championship and it's final time here. Minimax Grid is on the dummy grid, ready to get themselves going, and the drivers are primed and ready. They've already had 2 heats so far today. They have had their points calculated. Everything's been checked over by stewards if there was any arguments or anything that may have happened in that one, to which there wasn't. Race director spoke to him and he said everything was pretty clean. So they're all happy with that. So all was well. But where, ladies and gentlemen, are people going to be starting? Well, that's a very good point. We'll go over the full grid a little bit later on when the drivers make their way out onto the circuit, but we can go through a couple of names in this one. Scott Marsh, of course, will be starting on pole position. Surprisingly so, because Noah Wolff starting on second. Now, Noah Wolff dominated the first heat race that we saw out there today, but in the second one, not sure what happened. Something struggling with the car, fell back into the grid, had to come back into that one, but will be starting still on that front row. There is Ollie Wise, the 55. He's had a pretty good weekend so far. The same with that man there, Harrison Whitcomb, the number 66. Now, like I say, I've said it a couple of times already today, but he is racing this weekend with a fully broken rib. It is completely broken, completely shattered, but he is still racing here today. Let's have a look then at the starting lineup. 4 of action is coming up in this 15-minute final. So Scott Marsh and Noah Wolff will be starting on that front row. Joshua Graham and Harrison Whitcomb on the second row as well. That was a look at the senior Rotax grid. We'll bring up the Minimax O-Plate final grid in just a moment. But yeah, those top 4 drivers starting on those front 2 rows. Tom and Spearing and Ollie Wise on row 3. Jack West and Adam Wooden will round out on row 4. Alexander Zingarevich and William Murtar on row 5. Joshua Whitcomb and Dalton Hayward will round out row 6. Kai Beach and Aris Miauskis, who's not had the best weekend this weekend, will be starting on the 7th row. Michael Walker and Noah Pikes on row 8. Matas Miazanskas will round out the grid of 17 karts on row number 9. Karts making their way onto the start-finish line. Once again, we've had drivers like Blake Ticehurst win this. Archie Kitchen won it in 2019. Miles Barthorpe, Alex Lloyd, Jensen Butterfield in 2016. It's 2020. Who's going to take the O-Plate this time around across the start-finish line? Lights are out. We're off and racing. Great start from the front row. Wolff toes to the outside here. Switches, tries to get the car back down the inside. Fails to do so. Then comes back in himself. There, down the inside. The 88, Joshua Graham, gets a good early second place advantage. But at the moment, Scott Marsh leads the way and holds on to that race lead as they go down into the top hairpin for the first time. Everyone looking fairly clean. It's a good start from the majority of the field. Again, from a race director standpoint and a steward standpoint, this is their sort of dream. This is everyone getting around, no chopping and changing. All is well. Harrison Whitcomb there, still doing a fairly decent job. Has dropped down a few places, though, it has to be said. But Scott Marsh leads the way then as they exit out of the final corner at the end of this first lap for the final. Then they'll cross the line. Times will appear. Marsh leading them from Graham, Wolff, Thomas been Spearing, from Wise, Whitcomb, Wooden, West, Zingarevich, Murtar, Hayward, Vetch. Then it was Joshua Whitcomb. Then it's Miauskis, Walker, Miazanskas, and Noah Pikes rounding out the top 17 karts out there. And down the inside, Wolff takes second place back and is now on a mission. Obviously, kart not working fully 100% in heat number 2. Looking like that issue has been rectified. And Wolff looking a little bit stronger in heat 2. Round they go again in the apex. Get close to the steering wheel now, tucking in as much as possible, getting as much waft out of that kart as he can manage. Down they go then, crossing the start-finish line again. Lap 2 completed. 13 minutes to go then, plus this one additional lap. Wolff looking like he's going for the move, and he is going for the move there. Marsh left the door wide open. And Graham's coming through as well. Graham wants a little bit of this. Pulls out the exhaust. And again, here comes Marsh straight back at Wolff. Wolff going from first to third there. So Graham back into second place. Thomas been Spearing getting involved in this one now as well. It's really closed up the groups. Harrison Whitcomb still there in P5, also wanting to get involved. Through the final chicane they go for the second time. Once again, Marsh leads. And this is the crucial part of it. So Marsh may be getting overtaken in sort of the mid-pack section, but he can always get it back when they get to the last section of the winning. the O-plate. You know, you got to cross the line first. Yes, you could be in the lead at the beginning half of the lap. No, leading at the end across the line, you don't win. So it really falls down to where these drivers want to get these overtakes done. And as we're seeing at the early stages of this lap, generally doesn't tend to work because you can't break away quick enough, really, to open up the gap. So, yeah, maybe into this latter part of the section of the lap, that's probably going to be the better place to get it done. A little wide was the exit there for Wolf. Under pressure. These are your top two at the moment, Marsh and Graham. Graham just slotting into position, not going for any moves just as of yet. No, nothing in towards turn one either, so he's just going to stay behind. No pressure then on Marsh to have to look over his shoulder, but he's going to have to look over now because down the inside goes Joshua Graham into the infield complex, gets that done. Now, this is where we saw Wolf make the move, but Marsh came back at this corner and he's going to do exactly the same here. So Marsh back to the lead, and it's a carbon copy of what we saw with Noah Wolf earlier on, but now Wolf back into P2, and now Graham back into P3. Spearing still there in 4th. Whitaker still there in 5th. Just behind, so it's still Wooden in 6th place. Wise is still there in 7th. Murtagh still in 8th place. Zingarevich running out the top 9. Jack West holding on to the top 10 spots, but these three really having a good scrap here. And again, this is just going to be move after move after move. There is never going to be a respite in this race. And again, Wolf taking the lead. And look at that. Scott Marsh not happy whatsoever. Hand up in the air, and he's dropped all the way down to P4 now. Graham's going to have a go at Wolf now. Is Graham going to go down into this hairpin here? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. But now, Graham has got his teammate Spearing just behind. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, we're not too sure yet, because remember, this is a one-off event. This isn't a championship. So each one of these drivers wants to win. Yes, they may work together to try and get to the end of this race. There's still 10 minutes left of this one, so they might work together just to the end of this. But in the meantime, Wolf is leading, and he's in a dangerous spot here because he's got 2 Argenti karts right behind him. Through into turn 1, and again, absolutely solid, no dramas whatsoever. Tight line on the entry, no looking over the shoulder, leaves the gap open, and again, Graham's going to go for it. So again, no one really fully defending going into that section, which is allowing everyone to get the overtakes done. Graham goes through. And there you go. I think Noah Wolf has got a bit of Italian in him there with the hand gestures there, going, what are you doing? What are you doing? But they're getting it all sorted now. So now it's Argenti leading 1-2 as they go through. Graham from Spearing. And Wolf now, again, look, Wolf isn't happy there. Spearing looks over his shoulder. Wolf gesticulating wildly there, going, what were you doing? And again, he just keeps looking over his shoulder and say, don't look at me, just go. Catch back up to him. But keep an eye as they go through in here, because again, if no one goes defensive, we'll see moves. Wolf not getting that overtake done this time around. Whitcomb there in P4. So what we're seeing here is an Argenti 1-2-4 with Synergy in 3rd. KR Sport there in 5th place. So I say it was 5th place. Scott Marsh has just got back through as well now. So Marsh back past Ollie Wise. Wise now back to P6. A look further down as well. Mikey Walker's been pushed up into P10 now. Pushed demoted Jack West down into P11, so out of the top 10. Dayton Hayward, the E-plate, still there in 12th place from Noah Pikes. Joshua Whitcomb still holding on to P14. Aris Miałowski is still there in P15 from Kai Vetch. Matas Miazanskas still rounding out the top grid in P17. Not the best weekend, but still put in a stellar performance. So, still Graham who leads from Spearing. Spearing not going for the move down the inside. Wolf also slotting into place. 8 minutes left of this O-Plate final. Of course, all of these drivers were in this group very, very experienced. Some know this circuit like the back of their hand. Some have not raced here for a number of years, but nevertheless, they are giving us a fantastic final. There's a bird in the middle of the track. He clears quickly. Probably a wise thing to do with these karts coming around at full chat. Trust me, they may be nature lovers, but they're not going to slow down if a bird's in the way. They're going for that race win. And again, down the inside, Wolf takes it. Whitcomb follows now on Spearing. Spearing's going to hold on to it. So Wolf now back up into P2. That's allowed Graham to break away. That's crucial because now if Graham's got the clear air, he may be able to just drive off with this one, but he's got to see what Wolf can do. Wolf, we know he's a quick driver. He can close that gap up, but whether or not he's got the pace right now to get that done is another question. Scott Marsh has now got himself back up into P3 as well. This is the battle that you're watching here. Spearing down into 4th place. Ollie Wise still there in 5th, and that number 55. Remember, it was Ticehurst who won this last year. He's now moved himself up into the junior Rotax class. He is racing here this weekend, but there are no O plates in this category this year. We are about to crown them this time around in about 6.5 minutes plus that one lap. And again, no moves then through this top section. They're in the lull now. They're in the lull of this race. They've found their position. They're just going to hold on to that one for the next few minutes, and then they're going to go for the overtakes with about 3 or so minutes to go. Expect the overtakes to come in a little bit earlier than what you would usually expect them in a British Kart Champs round or anything like that, because they can usually wait until the last lap, because, you know, it is good points to finish first in the championship. It's still good points to finish second. But if in this one, no, you have to get first. You have to get first to win the O plate. Second's not good enough, and every driver wants it. Every driver wants it in this category. 5.5 minutes to go then. Plus one lap. There's a driver in the wall there. It's the number 9. It's Adam Wooden. And out of the race and out of the O plate contention is the number 9 seed. An absolute disaster. Adam Wooden looking very strong out there, and also another driver who's out, Harrison Whitcomb. So maybe, well, Harrison's car is just off to the side there, but I'm not sure if they had a coming together, or it was 2 breakdowns. There is Harrison's car, the number 66, going no further, which is a shame. Harrison had a strong weekend in this one. Back down the main straight they go. Graham holds on to it then. Wolf still there in second. He has closed back, and Scott Marsh has closed in as well. So this is far from over. 5 minutes to go then, plus that one lap. Wolf looks over the shoulder, just checks it's clear. Marsh is there though, not close enough for the move. Again, Marsh has had a fantastic day. Started this race on pole position, dropped back in the early stages. Was mildly upset about it, which is understandable from a young driver, but he's got back there in 3rd place now, and he's behind another driver who's been gesticulating wildly all the way through this race with hand gestures, clean hand gestures, but frustrated hand gestures. But he just wants that position back, and rightly so. But Graham's holding on to it. Graham's got good pace around here, but he's run a little wide on the exit there. That allowed Wolf to go for it, and Marsh has come through now, so Wolf back down into P3, and Marsh is going to go back down the inside here at the hairpin. So Marsh now 2 positions in 2 corners, retakes the lead. Oh no, Thomas B. Spearing comes through on Wolf, and Ollie Wise comes through now as well. Wolf wasn't ready for that, and Bin Spearing absolutely, well, he went for a gap that was clearly there. Wolf didn't see it and checks over the shoulder and says, right, to Ollie Wise, let's think about this. Let's not battle. Let's go for it. 3.5 minutes. They can close that gap. But it is a big gap. Scott Marsh may have just been gifted this O plate. But there is still plenty of time left in this one. They're going to need to work together. Is Graham and Wise. Spearing still there in P4. Wolf is not going to be happy with this one. So he wasn't happy earlier when he lost one place. You can see it there. Yeah, shake of the head for the double GP plate winner from Kart Masters last year in the cadet classes, up to Minimax this year, and still showing a strong performance. It is tough to move from one class to another, and a lot of these drivers have done that in this last year. They've moved up from the cadet class into the Minimax class, and it's a very different kettle of fish. It's a very different driving style that they have to go for. Cadet racing, it's a line of stern, it's very train formative. So, you know, in this one where it's, you know, track position, it's how you can get down the inside, it's how much power you can get out of the corner. You can get out of trouble a little bit more than what you can in a cadet, but in this one, these drivers really pushing these karts to the limit. 2.5 minutes to go. Plus that one lap, and again, Marsh still holding on to this one. Fastest lap of the race, though, Joshua Graham, 48.1 on that last lap. Is closing in. Gap is 0.5 of a second, just under 0.5 of a second now. Into the chicane. Nice and clean. No one clouting those curbs anymore. They were hitting them left, right and centre in the wet conditions to try and gain any sort of traction out of the corner. But now in these dry conditions, everyone's sodding through and down the inside goes Spearing on Wise. Ollie Wise was wise to avoid that one because they almost came a cropper in that midsection. Slots back into place, and now back at the front here, Graham has closed in on Marsh. Now, Graham has been fooled by Marsh's overtakes in that second hairpin on many occasions in this final. Graham will always go for that move into the midfield complex. We always see it. And then Marsh gets him back at the next hairpin. So let's see what happens this time, as it's all three wide here for third place. Spearing defending from Wise. Wolf now closed right onto the back of it now. Wolf on the outside. He's going to try go for the switch back here. He's going to not have the optimal line as they go through here. And now he's going to be under pressure from William Murtaugh. So no positions gained at the front. They've stayed the same. No positions gained just behind. They have stayed the same, but they have been battling quite fierce. They're not going to be closing in on the two in front at this rate. 30 seconds to go then. There's not going to be many opportunities left for Graham to get past Marsh. You think at this point now, what goes through a driver's line? The heart rate's going, the blood is flowing, the blood is pumping in the drivers. Thinking what could happen. Two very different lines here. Marsh very defensive into turn one. Graham could get the switch back here, and he is going to. They're now side by side going into the complex. Smoke off the tyres. So close between these two. They're not giving any room for manoeuvre whatsoever, but Marsh holds on to it. Now that's allowed the drivers behind to close in. Thomas Spearing is right there now. It was about a second a gap. Now it's closed right in. It's half a second. If anything, they're in lunge distance. Wolf has just dived down the inside of Ollie Wise. He's got himself now up to P4. Can see this happening in front. And now Murtaugh side by side with Wise. Here, though, at the front, Graham has dropped back slightly off Marsh. The timer has struck 0. Last lap board will be out this time around. And Marsh, for the time being, is looking comfortable here. The number 2 seed could be getting another seed number here, but it's going to be in the shape of an O. Round turn 1 he goes. No compromising line there. No defensive line. He's getting the optimal line as much as possible. So as they go through into the top hairpin now. Round they go. No positions changed. They've stayed the same. All is well. All is calm. No issues whatsoever as they come now into the final section. There's not really any opportunities for any moves to be done unless we see an absolute lunge into the final corner. We're not going to see anything here, and Scott Marsh is going to exit this final corner, and he is going to become the 2022 Rotax O-Plate final winner, and he'll receive that illustrious O-Plate here this weekend. A fantastic run for Scott Marsh this weekend. Joshua Graham, try as he might, finishes in P2. Thomas Spearing, a fantastic run for him, also finishes in P3. Noah Wolf, despite the fact that he tried so hard and was leading this one, only finishes in P4. Ollie Wise as well, a great run, finishing P5 from William Murtaugh, who tried his hardest to gain those positions. Mikey Walker, great result for him, finishing P7. Alexander Zingarevich will cross the line in P8. Dalton Hayward in 9th from Jack West, rounding out the top 10. Aris Miauskis, not the weekend he wanted, will finish 11th. From Noah Pikes, Joshua Whitcomb, Kai Vetch and Matas Miazanskas. Harrison Whitcomb, Adam Wooden, 2 retirements. But that man who was on your screen there, Scott Marsh, and the number 2, takes the race win and the O-Plate. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment. I'm going to head down and have a quick chat with our race winner. Back down in the winner's circle here, and our race winner, Scott Marsh, who's running away from me. You say there, Mr. Cameraman. Scott, come on over, get your helmet off, mate. What a race. What a race that was. I can already see your cheesy grin under your helmet. Well, hey. Well, lady, do you want me to hold your gloves?
All right.
You got it, you've got it. Right, the people can see you. Millions watching. Scott Marsh, the O-plate this time around, well done.
Thank you. Just an amazing race. Was so hard to get because we dropped back and then we had to come back forward. We just managed to get the best of it, really.
I mean, yeah, talk us about that, because you did drop back at quite a way, and I could see the frustration in the hand gestures coming from yourself, but you played it cool, you came back, take the race win. It's another one to add to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my mum, my dad, the whole of DHR, Time Racing Engines, all my family for support, and Liam, my mechanic. Thank you.
Well, brilliant stuff. Scott Marsh there, your 2022 O-plate winner. I'm sure his mechanic very happy as well. Our second place man, Joshua Graham, is around. Let's see if we can chat to Josh very quickly. Josh, without getting run over by a cart, talk us about that race, mate, because it was looking so good for you. It was a tough old race out there. Tell us what happened.
Got into the lead pretty early, just got a bit of a gap. Then the drivers behind sort of closed up, but pretty disappointed, but still second.
It's second in that one. I mean, these one-off events, they are hard, they are tricky, but does it make you come back a bit stronger for like the championships and the more that are coming up? Because, you know, there are still more seeded numbers out there for grabs.
Yeah.
So brilliant stuff. But anyone you'd like to thank?
Argentina Motorsport, KR Chassis, Ogden Race Engines, my dad, Terence Starr, Ron Meadows and Danny Sweeney.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Chin up, Joshua. Well done, P2, mate. Excellent. Let's have a chat with our third place man, Thomas Van Spearing. Thomas, well, again, that was a bit of a roller coaster of a race for you as well, wasn't it? It wasn't the race win, but what a wicked race it was.
Yeah. I had a couple of tough heats for ready for the final, so I just got my head down and made move after move.
Well, nice to have your teammate on the podium with you. Again, not the win, but, you know, it's still one of those races. The sun's come out, the sun is shining, the iridium visor looking nice and clean and shiny, but who'd you like to thank?
My mechanic, Ethan, and all of Argentina Motorsport and Ogden Racing Engines.
Brilliant stuff. Well done, Thomas, on a third place win.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Well, that's our three drivers from the Mini-Max class for the O-plate. Scott Marsh will be over the moon. He can replace that number 2 with an O this time around, but I'm sure he'll be fighting for the number 1 of the British champs as well. Going to take a short break. We'll be back with the Junior Rotax O-plate final in a moment. Well, welcome back, ladies and gents. As you can see, Minimax final just finished. Congratulations, of course, to Scott Marsh taking the race win in that one. But we move on now to the junior category. They're going to get themselves lined up and ready for their final. And a nice little chin wag there. What's being said in here? What's being said in here? We've got Vinnie Phillips, we've got Neo Clark, we've got Charlie Hart, Brandon Carr. Hello, lads. What are we chatting about? Well, there's Dan Ashton there, Clark, of course. A few words there with Neo Clark, I'm sure, just explaining the start procedure to Neo. Obviously, don't want any false starts in this one, so making sure that all is well. But back here with the trio conversation, Ethan, Jeff Hall has joined the chat.
How long until we bring back?
Oh, I thought I was going to hear a response from Dan there, but I think he's unsure about when the green flag is as well. Obviously, I don't have a physical grid in front of me for this one. They only just cleared this race, so we have got a grid. Obviously, they are gridded up, but I haven't been given it because it was only just announced. So they had carts on trolleys, and last second they were all dumped off the trolleys and they all disappeared, and they got going there. So we'll have to see. There's Jez Williams. Now, Jez had a bad qualifying, not a great qualifying, started kind of mid-pack for the heats. Stroke of genius in heat one of two drivers who put the slick tyres on the kart, the rest of the field on the wets. Came through from near the back of the grid all the way to the front to take the race one heat win, and I think finished around P8 or so in the second heat, resulting in him being able to move up quite some way. But I have got now a physical, well, not a physical grid, I've got a photo of a grid that's been kindly sent to me from Motorsport-Timing's Ian Rogers, who's here this weekend, supplying all our timing needs, which is very, very handy. There is Jake Davis, privateer driver. He's starting, well, he's back on the 11th row, so he's still quite some way to go. Now there's Brandon Carr's just behind him, so I don't think that matches currently what I have on my piece of paper, so there might be some chopping and changing that needs to happen here. So Dan Ashton just having a few words of the drivers just before the start of this one. Now, I've been given a photo of the grid, but when I'm looking at the grid, it slightly doesn't match what's currently out there. So I'm not sure if there needs to be some chopping and changing to get it in order, or I'm looking at the wrong thing. But we'll find out. We'll have the grid up on the screen anyway when it appears. There, the E-plate, Reza Seaworthy, and who you'll have seen if you were watching the ad breaks in between the heats and the finals. You would have seen Reza winning the nose cone relay challenge thingamajig. I think that's what I called it in the end. I can't remember off the top of my head what I called it, but yeah, good old show in that one. But there on the front row, Ted Bradbury, the Sam Pollock Racing driver, starting in P2. Ethan Jeff Hall starting just behind as well. Ethan's had tough old weekend on this one, but he's showing good strength, showing good performance, managed to get it back up there. There's Blake Ticehurst. Now, Blake Ticehurst was last year's Mini Max O-Plate winner. This year, trying to replicate his Mini Max year at Warden Law. Can he do it? Last year's O-Plate winner at Warden in 2021, Dan Ginchard, of course. Also double British junior karting champion in both Miami and Rotax. Now moving on to the world of British Formula 4. Kai Hunter took the O-Plate in 2019. Obviously Kai now in the senior category. Alex Eads in 2018 and Tommy Foster in 2017. Who will take it in 2022? Let's have a look then at the starting lineup for Junior Rotax O-Plate final here at Mansell Raceway. Plenty of action we're going to see in these 15 minutes, and Neo Clark and Ted Bradbury are going to start on the front row. row 2 as well, just there. Charlie Hart and Blake Ticehurst, and Freddie Allen, Jez Williams, Ewan Charman, Alex Duncan, and Ollie Stevens going through on 5th and 6th place, or 5th and 6th row, I should say. Daniel Tribe and Henry Brumont on row 7, Alfie Davis and Razor C. Worthian on row 8. Row 9, Brandon Carr and Benjamin Bartlett, Harry Mitchell and Gustav Uzakos to round out the top 20, Thomas Behrman and Harry Maynard on row 11, Leo Purchase and Matthew Lambert on row 12, Charles Green and Alexander Adams-Acton on row 13, Braden Hill and Archie Loynes on row 13, Arthur Thacker, George Spilsbury, Gregory Eckers and Aditya Kulkarni on the 16th row, and the entire grid. Let's see what they can do then. Into the tram lines, taking it nice and steady. The sun is shining. Who is going to take the O-Plate in 2022? Lights are out. We're off and racing. Great start from the entire grid as they go down in towards turn 1. Bradbury on the outside and a spin. It's Ollie Stevens. The 9 is off the track, but Neo Clark now takes the lead. So Neo Clark with the early lead then gets away. Can he break away from the field though? Bradbury is right there behind. Clark slightly defends there. Hart comes through to take 3rd place. Keep an eye on the rest of the field as Harry Linden, the number 7, has got through, I think, up into P4 now as well. Number 7 he has done indeed, as Hart down the inside of his teammate. Bradbury now being pushed out wide. He's got to defend the position. Vinnie Phillips trying to come through. And Vinnie Phillips does get through now up into P5. So across the line they go. Clark now dives to the inside to cover off Hart's attack, and he comes through now. Clark holds on to it, and down the inside Harry Linden gets it done and tries to get them all done in one corner. Hart goes out wide there, and off the track now goes, I believe, Adam Cup maybe, as they go through then. 13 minutes to go. Out of the infield complex, Clark now leading comfortably. 0.6 of a second is the gap. Linden still there in second, under close pressure though from Charlie Hart. Bradbury, his teammate, just behind. He's got a rear gunner. They can work together now and try and close this gap up. Jez Williams there in the number 8, who was the driver who ran slightly wide in the previous lap. He's still there. Oh, not lost much positions. Got the company of Vinnie Phillips just behind. Freddie Allen there in 7th place from Ethan Jeff Hall. Brandon Card's up into 9th place. Alex Duncan has dropped down a couple of positions into P10. Ewan Charman there in 11th. Speaking to Ewan, he says he's not had the best day. Heats weren't great. So, give him a little pep talk, and hopefully you can see Ewan improve a little bit in this one and come back in this final. But he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Still plenty of time to get it done. Neo Clark then still leading the way. Confident and comfortable as Vinnie Phillips down the inside gets it done on Jez Williams. And Ethan Jeff Hall has come through as well. So the two Strawberry teammates working together now. You can see there Ethan, who is a much smaller driver than the rest of the field, really kind of falls into the kart quite a lot. It's a lot lower than the rest of them, can really gain a lot in terms of a slipstream effect. But as they go through again, battle starting to form behind Sam Pollock Racing's Charlie Hart. Harry Linden there, still not going for the move as of yet. He's going to monitor the gap. Jeff Hall looks out of the slipstream, dives down the inside of his teammate. Vinnie Phillips gets it done, and Jez Williams comes back through now as well. So it was well timed by Ethan Jeff Hall, because it doesn't look like he's lost much time or momentum to the two in front. Now you can see there, still managed to latch onto the back of Harry Linden. And now this group comes in, because now Phillips is under immense pressure. Williams back down the inside, gets it done. Brandon Carr's in there as well. Ewan Charman coming through in the fight. Back further up, Ethan Jeff Hall still latched onto the back of it. So fast down this main straight. These drivers really pedal to the floor, nailed all the way down this. 11 minutes to go, sideways under braking there for Ethan Jeff Hall. Gets the move done on Harry Linden through turn number 1. Absolutely perfection, but I think Linden takes it back. He does. But you saw it there under braking. Absolutely committed there was Ethan Jeff Hall to stop that kart before he got to the apex. Couldn't quite get the move completed though. But it just shows how much these drivers want this O-plate, that they are trying moves here and there, and he's done it. Ethan Jeff Hall has managed to get past Harry Linden. So keep an eye on Ethan Jeff Hall. He set the fastest lap earlier on. Ted Bradbury's just set the fastest lap on the last one, 47.1. Keep a close eye on that 51. Looking very, very quick out there. There's confirmation Ted Bradbury's 47.1. Currently leading the way. Less than 10 minutes to go then in this final. Ted Bradbury's taken the lead from Neo Clark. That was just off camera, so not sure where that happened. So Neo Clark down into P2 in the Sam Pollitt cheese sandwich. Slotting in. We know Neo is quick, we know Ted Bradbury's quick, we know Charlie Hart is quick. All of these drivers are quick. But who has got the patience and the skill to bring the kart to the end? Like we always say, karting is an incredibly tough sport. It is a mental game that all these drivers are playing, thinking, where are they going to position the kart? Where's he going to go for the move? Is he going to go for the move? We're just going to have to wait and see. 9 minutes to go, plus that one lap. Out of the complex. We'll look further down the order who's made some moves out there. Adita Kukai is up to P13 now as well. Alfred Davis with a good move. Also up to P15. Thomas Behrman up to P17 as well. Gustav Uzakovs with a good recovery up to P19 as again Bradbury defensive from Neo Clark. That's allowing Hart to close that gap back up again. And again, here comes Ethan Jeff Hall is into the fray. Jeff Hall looking to go for the move. Can't quite do it. Slots back into P4. Charlie Hart furious. They're just saying, come on, just go, go, go. But his teammate Bradbury is just starting to defend slightly here. It's not extreme defense, but it is just that little bit. He's just moving the kart a little bit over to the middle of the track just to make drivers think, you know, don't go down the inside because I'm going to fight you for this. So again, no, Neo Clark looks over his shoulder, sees Charlie Hart and says, yeah, you go for it, but I don't think he believes him, man. I don't doubt that he believes him because he's going to go down the inside here at turn 1 on Bradbury. Gets it done. Bradbury fights back though, and that's the classic switchover move. Yes, you can easily dive down the inside there to take the position, but you're going to lose it instantly as you exit. Ethan Jeff Hall again trying the switchback move there for P3 on Hart, but is failing to get that done. He's got good momentum here, and he's going to continue that momentum in towards the hairpin. He does finally get the move done on Charlie Hart, and crucially, at a key spot there because he didn't lose a lot of time. 7 minutes and 20 seconds left on the board then. Absolutely mountains amount of time left in this final. And Bradbury is doing a fantastic job of holding off Neo Clark. Neo Clark's going to try and move here, there, and everywhere. But for the time being, he's just going to stay there in second place. Tried the move earlier on. Last lap, he's going to do it again. Very late on the braking. Gets it done this time. Holds it on the exit. So Neo's learning from what Bradbury can do in terms of defence and holds on to it. So Neo Clark now takes the lead. That's brought everyone back in, and Charlie Hart's got back past in front of Ethan Jeff Hall. Now a gap's opened up from that move. Ethan Jeff Hall straight back at it. Straight back at it. Don't let them break away. Classic one there that we always see. Many a famous racing driver knows that if someone gets past you, your best bet to get past them back is at the next corner. Don't let them break away too soon. But now there's a gap. The gap's around half a second now between these two groups. They're going to have to close it up. Brandon Carr, in the meanwhile, he's starting to close in on Hart and Ethan Jeff Hall as well. Currently in 5th place, Harry Linden in number 7. having a good run this weekend, but is struggling in this final. He's dropped back slightly into P6. Alex Duncan, good running from Alex Duncan actually, up into P7, to number 63. Good performance from him. Jez Williams again, the man who won Heat 1 on the slick tyres. Currently in P8, not managing to make any more moves. Ewan Charman still there in P9, much better drive here. But again, under investigation, Freddie Allen, the number 66. There is Freddie out there. I don't see him on my timing screen anywhere close to the front. Freddie Allen currently in 31st place. We've lost Harry Maynard. He's out of this race so far as Bradbury and Clark again at it. And Ethan Jeff Hall's come through now as well. Fastest lap of the race. He had the momentum down the start-finish straight. Now has got into P2 and now the race lead. So the young driver, who wasn't one of the favourites to take the O-Plate this weekend, but is really showing his skill out there. Ethan Jeff Hall, a very quick driver and has won many, many races in his time, and is wanting to win this one. And we know Ethan Jeff Hall is quick at the Mansell Raceway circuit because he has won races here in the past as well in the British Championship. So he is very skilled around this circuit. But so are all of these drivers. Bradbury still there in second. Clark not able to hold on to it. Brandon Carr dives down the inside. The 30 plate for KR Sport dives down the inside of Charlie Harden, takes P4 away. But now he's got a lot of work to close up that gap, because that gap is now just under a second. It's about 7/10 of a second is Brandon Carr from Neo Clark. So he's got to close that gap up. 4 minutes to go on this race then. Jeff Hall holds on to it. Brandon Carr still there, no positions gained, and at this moment in time, this is crucial. If they don't start scrapping, Brandon Carr won't be able to close up if he hasn't got the pace. If they do start scrapping, he will easily be able to close up. No moves here into turn one. Look at the rubber that's been laid down on the circuit here. It was pouring down with rain in the morning. The rain cleared, the sun came out, the clouds have come over again, but it hasn't rained again since. Neo Clark with the fastest lap of the race. Still there in P3. He's not managed to use that momentum. He has managed to use that momentum. He's got past Ted Bradbury for second place. And he's put that Thule Motorsports car back into P2. Ethan Jeff Hall still comfortable in the lead as they whiz into this complex, this tight complex. There's no runoff here whatsoever. If you make a mistake, you're into the barrier. As they go through, back onto the start-finish lane. They finish lap 15. They're on now lap 16 as they go through, and again, Ethan Jeff Hall looking like he's breaking away here. Young driver looking comfortable in that Strawberry chassis, the Tony Kart chassis for the Strawberry Racing team. Clark trying all that he can. Brandon Carr still having a good race. Charlie Hart still there in 5th place. Harry Linden still in 6th. Jez Williams now up into P7, sorry, has managed to get past Alex Duncan. Charman still there in P9. Vinnie Phillips still there in P10. Aditya Kulkarni in 11th. Alfie Davis still holding on to 12th place from Henry Beaumont. Daniel Tribe, great result so far for Daniel. P14 for the privateer driver. Thomas Behrman still there in 15th for Musakovs. Whether seaworthy on the E-Plate, the English champion, struggling here at Mansell Raceway. Only P17, but still putting in quick times. He's got the pace of the front runners. Ollie Stevens, after his spin early at the start, he's recovered back to P18. Leo Perch is still there, and Alexander Adams-Acton still rounding out the top 20. Only still one retirement from this one, Harry Maynard. After about 5 laps of racing, he retired from the race. This is the battle a little further back. This is the battle for 6th place, as Jez Williams has actually managed to get past. Harry Linden now is defending from Linden. Linden down the inside, but I saw Linden's nose cone there, and it looks a little wobbly, I have to say. It looks okay there. It may have just been the bumps in towards turn one, but he gets that move done. Vinnie Phillips now struggling. Aditya Kulkarni comes into the fray. Aditya lifting up the radiator flap there just to cool the engine down slightly. Very late on the brakes there was Jez Williams. Ewan Charman in this group as well. Charman dropping a couple of positions, but he's not had the best weekend. He's always been stuck in those battles. He's not managed to find any clear air, has Ewan Charman in this final, but Linden now with the clear air in P6, wanting to close in. We know Aditya Kulkarni is quick here as action at the front. Still no changes. Ethan Jeff Hall still leading it. Big look over the shoulder there for Ethan. It's all calmed down a little bit now. Less than a minute left on the timer. It could be final lap time this time around. I'm not too sure they might get to the end. I think they will get the final lap this time around with only 10 seconds left on the board. Neo Clark is going to have to pull something out here. He's closed right up through this section as there's a car. Here we go then. Timer strike 0. Last lap board's out. What can Ethan Jeff Hall do? It was Dan Ginchard last year. It was Kai Hunter the year before that. This young man who's moved up from the years of karting through cadets, now through minis into juniors, and it's. But are we about to see Ethan Jeff Hall come through to take this O-plate as they whiz through into the bottom section? There's not going to be an opportunity. Neo Clark will have to send it down the inside or make a run for it into the line, but I don't think it's enough because the line comes quickly out of the final corner. It's going to be Ethan Jeff Hall for Strawberry Racing across the line to take the checkered flag. From Neo Clark, Bradbury will take third. Bradbury looking to be the favourite this weekend. Unfortunately couldn't get it to the flag at the end from Brandon Carr. Charlie Hart will take 5th place from Vinnie Phillips. Aditya Kulkarni, a great result for the Argenti team, will take P7 from Harry Linden. Jez Williams will take 9th place from Ewan Charman, who finishes it in the top 10. He can be happy with that one. It's been a tough weekend for the young driver, but a fantastic result for Ethan Jeff Hall. He'll be absolutely delighted with that one as they make their way into the pit lane. We'll take a short break as I'll head down to the winner's circle. We'll be back in just a moment's time. Well, we're down here in the winner's circle and we've got all the karts here lined up just out of scrutineering. They'll have been weighed up, ready to go for this one. Ethan Jeff Hall was around. I think he got told to go and pick up an engine box or something, so hopefully I can find him. You stay there, you don't come too close, because I don't want you to struggle, because that big building is a bit of a nightmare. I don't know where Ethan's gone. In all honesty, I don't know where our race winner's got. Where's Ethan gone? He's coming back. Where'd you send him off to?
To get an engine box from the tent.
Oh, gee, he's got his driver interview to do. Well, I'll tell you what, while we wait for Ethan Jeff Hall, let's chat to second place man Neo Clark, because Neo had, well, you were looking like one of the favourites this weekend and you were leading the way and you were having battles galore all the way through that. It just didn't come to the end, but what a result that was, mate.
Yeah. Second at O-Plate, can't really complain, can you? But obviously we came in here thinking we had a good shot, and again we just showed that we had the pace to be at the front, which due to bad luck we've not really been able to show in the British. But you know, it's a good result. We take that.
Yeah, definitely take that one. I mean, you've got a fantastic kart here. Your dad's done a brilliant job on the spanners all weekend, and you know what can you say for that one? And it's a tough result, but a chin up. It's a great result still, isn't it? Second place.
Yeah, again, there's some people that would do anything to be in my position, so I can't really complain, but obviously it's just a bit annoying that we couldn't win.
Anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad, all my sponsors, Thule Motorsport, Drew to be precise, and Jag Rotax for making the weekend possible.
Well, brilliant stuff there. Second place man, Neo Clark, well done for the Thule Motorsport team. Ethan Jeff Hall is back now, so we can finally talk to our race winner, because he decided to go off and get an engine box for some reason. Well, O-Plate. It's done, job done. There we go. How'd you feel?
Feel pretty good, yeah.
Any tips for your senior teammates who are about to head out on track?
Don't know, just win.
Just win, there we go. There you go, lads. Just win. Sorted. Ethan Jeff Hall, 2022. Well done. I will quote that. Brilliant stuff. But what a result that was. I mean, your kart there looking fantastic. Your mechanic super happy with your performance. Does it feel nice to be back on top in 2022?
Yeah, it feels really good. We've had a few ups and downs recently, so it's nice to come away with the win.
A brilliant fight through the pack as well, because you were sort of right in the mix with everyone there, and you just slowly came through attack after attack, because you were battling with your teammate Vinnie Phillips for quite a while as well.
Yeah, we had a moment at the start where everyone washed wide. We dropped down quite far, I'm not too sure where it was, but we managed to come through the pack. We had quite good speed and just got into the lead and held it, yeah.
Well, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to say a massive thanks to Strawberry Racing, Cream Racing Engines, my mechanic Lee Taylor for this weekend, and all my family, and Fit for Performance.
There we go.
Said it right this time.
Good man, good man. You'll be in the good books now. Congratulations, though. O-Plate 2022.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant stuff there from Ethan Jeff Hall. Let's find Ted Bradbury and have a good chat with Ted. Ted, a tough old weekend. You were looking like one of the favourites this weekend. You know, you had good heats as well, and a tough final in that one, leading for quite a bit of it as well. But, you know, talk us through that final.
Yeah, it was a good race. Tried to get to the front as quick as possible. But Ethan was obviously very fast, tried to get away with Neo, but it didn't work. It was just a good race, done the best I could. Didn't have the pace I wanted to, but I guess third's all right.
You were having a good chinwag with Neo Clark in the lunch break, weren't you? I was there as well. You were watching Wilton Mill Kart Club on your phone, weren't you? So, you know, you're interested in karting whether or not it's here. So, you know, quite a chilled atmosphere, even though it's the O-Plate.
Yeah, it's a fun weekend. Enjoyed every second of it. Obviously, it would have been better to come away with a win, but yeah, it's all right.
Anyone you'd like to thank?
My team, my dad, my mum, and Lewis Brown and Sam Pollett, and everyone that supports me. Thank you.
Well, brilliant stuff there, Ted Bradbury. Third place in the Junior Rotax O-Plate final. One more final to go. It's time for the seniors. Who is going to be crowned Senior Rotax O-Plate final winner? Let's find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back now for the final race of the day. It is Senior Rotax time for their O-Plate final, and what a final this is going to be. Last year's O-Plate winner is on this grid, and he's starting on the third row in 6th place. Lewis Gilbert in the pink helmet. You can see him just at the side there, getting his rib protector on. Can he hold on to his O-Plate title? He has had a tough weekend so far. After being disqualified from qualifying, he had to start the heats from the back of the grid. And I have to say, a fantastic effort has put him in a great starting spot for this final. Only 2 rows of karts ahead of him. He's currently having a chin wag with Clayton Ravenscroft there. On your screen, one of the Dan Holland drivers, number 5, Matthew Higgins, getting himself lined up there. William Ellswood having a good chat with his, I believe that's his dad, mechanic. I can't remember what was dad's name, unfortunately. But everyone's getting themselves lined up. Will starting on the second row, it is number 6, Sam Stansbury just behind as well, and then number 37 on that third row. He'll have Lewis Gilbert, the current O-Plate champion, alongside. Now, we're speaking to obviously Ethan Jeff Hall down there, and he had his advice to his Strawberry teammates. Now, don't get too confused, because Strawberry out there, you'll see them. They're in the Tony Kart green and the Tony Kart green chassis. They look remarkably similar to Lewis Gilbert's kart, but Lewis Gilbert isn't part of the Strawberry team. He is part of the Potenza Racing Engines team, so he is not part of the same team. So he's in a different awarding. He's not over in the same one, but a lot of karts who look kind of the same there. There is Clayton Ravenscroft having a brief chat with his teammate Will Ellswood before this final. And good to see that camaraderie between teammates, but of course that will all change once the engines fire up and they head out on track, because of course this is a one-off event. Somewhere near the front, 15 minutes plus a lap is a good enough amount of time to have a good, hard and fair race, which is what we're after, hard and fair. Respect each other please into this first corner on the start, and the first couple of laps until it settles down a little bit please, and just make sure you're in your tram lines for the start. That'll be ideal. Have a fantastic final, everybody. There we go. Words there from Dan Ashton, clerk of the course, just about the race start procedure and a nice, fair and clean race, and rightly so. You know, a lot of these drivers very experienced. They've been in the game for some time now. In the senior class, we've got fresh seniors who are of a young age. We've got older seniors who are very well matured in their years of karting. So there is still quite some age gap in this one. Of course, seniors start from the age of 15, like birth year 16 years of age. So you can still be quite young in this category, but a lot of these drivers in their mid-20s or so, or late teens. Drivers getting themselves primed and ready then. What are we going to expect from this one? Get your comments in. Make sure you're liking the stream. Make sure you're sharing the stream as well, because this is going to be the best of the best of British karters this weekend here at Mansell Raceway. Green flag goes up. Let's have a look then at the starting grid for the final race of the day here at Mansell Raceway for the Rotax O-Plate final. Matthew Higgins and Kai Hunter will start on that front row. William Ellswood and Clayton Ravenscroft will round out row 2, DHR versus KR Sport. Sam Stansbury and Lewis Gilbert will round out row 3 from Leon Henderson and Guy Cunnington. A Strawberry Racing lockout on row 4. Brennan Klein Nanglevort and Theo Frederick on row 5 round out the top 10. Gabe Belanca and Ryan Luscombe will round out row 6. James Johnson and Jay Lewis on row number 7. Archie Brown and Amelia Nelson, who had contact together in one of the previous races, start alongside. James Thompson and Joshua Carrad, Ronnie Smith and Poppy Stevenson, Jake Davis, Cameron Crockett, Riley Stevenson, James Tilstead, Kieran Kay and Lucas Ivaskavicius on the final row. Karts are on the start-finish lineup. Who's going to take it? It was Lewis Gilbert last year. It was Reese Hunter the year before that. Lights are out. We're off and racing. Good start from the front row. The two DHR drivers working well together. They don't come together. They don't defend each other. They just slot back into position and they get going. Great start then from the front. Matthew Higgins, the 5-plate, holding on to the race lead, but the two KR Sport drivers are not going so friendly. They're side by side still, that main pack. But Ravenscroft, I think, comes out on top. No, it's not. It's Ellswood who comes out on top. And now Ravenscroft dives down the inside. Sam Stansbury coming through as well. Keep an eye behind because Guy Cunnington's wanting to get involved in this battle, as well as Lewis Gilbert. Keep an eye on that O plate this time around, starting much further up than what he was doing in the final. He had to come through from the back of the grid, gaining 18, 19 places in those heats. All he's got to do is gain about 6 in this one, and he takes home his O plate once again this year. They cross the line for the first time. Higgins then leading from Kai Hunter, Ravenscroft, Ellswood, Stansbury, Gilbert, Cunningham. Then it's Henderson. Brandon Klein-Nangelvoort there in 9th place, and Gabe Belanca, the Australian driver, there in P10. Of course, these are 15-minute finals plus that one additional lap, and already we're starting to see a breakaway between Higgins and Hunter. Now, is that going to stay like that all the way through this final? And then they battle, and a technical flag for Leon Henderson, the 94 Strawberry Racing driver, is not going to be able to replicate his teammate Ethan Jeff Hall O-plate win in seniors. He is going to have to pull into the pit lane, and he will be out of this final unless they can repair the kart quickly. But he stays out on circuit. I'm not quite sure what's up with his kart, but something's been spotted. He's going to have to bring that in then. On top of the hill, you can see the DHR team are on top of the banking there, watching the race. The KR Sport team are on top of their truck. And a change for the lead because Kai Hunter has now managed to get past Matthew Higgins. So Higgins now into P2, is now into the clutches of Clayton Ravenscroft, who has just set the fastest lap as well on the last lap. So Ravenscroft here, it's a one-off event for him. We know he's quick as back down the inside goes Higgins. So we thought these two were just going to drive off together in the sunshine and then battle with 3 minutes to go, but that's not happened here. And now KR Sport's getting involved in the fray. Clayton Ravenscroft now into P2. Ellswood there in P4. Down the inside, a huge lunge under braking there from Ravenscroft. He almost outbrakes himself and goes into the barrier. That allows everyone to bunch up, and now Ellswood is in P2, and it looks like that is Kai Hunter. It is Kai Hunter back in the race lead. So Ravenscroft now down into P3, and crucially, Matthew Higgins down into P4. So the two KR Sport drivers have nerfed out one of the DHR boys out of the way. One more to go, and they could be battling for this race lead very soon. 12 minutes to go then. Black flag's now out for Henderson. He's not adhered to the meatball flag, and now he's going to see himself disqualified from this final, and that's not what you want to see. 11.5 minutes to go then. Back down the inside goes Ravenscroft on Higgins. So Higgins tried to break up the two KR Sport drivers, failed to do so. Now look behind. Guy Cunnington, the GP plate, has closed in and is looking very, very quick out there, I have to say. That GP plate Strawberry kart looking very quick. Has closed right into these groups. Now Sam Stansbury is still there, and crucially, they're bringing along the O-plate of Lewis Gilbert, who has also just set the fastest lap of the race. There it is, a 46.080. Courtesy of Motorsport Dash Time. Thank you very much, Ian Rogers. Gets that sorted, and, well, I have to say, this would be one immense performance from Lewis Gilbert if he could win this. As he had, obviously, disqualified from qualifying. He had immense pace in the heats, and now showing what he can do in the final. But I have to say, it's starting to open out a little bit here at the front. Kai Hunter looking very comfortable in the race lead as Stansbury gets that move done on Higgins. Higgins now fading here. James Johnson sets the fastest lap of the race. James saying he had an electrical issue in one of his heats and it was just dropping backwards. Also, one of the pins broke in the brake pedal, meaning that he had no brakes really, and he was coasting for half of his heat too. I think they've got that repaired and he's back out and showing why he represented the UK at the Rotax Max Grand Finals, but also, crucially, why he deserves to win that O-plate. He's right there behind Lewis Gilbert in P8 and is closing in and is following along. Higgins down the inside of Stansbury, Gilbert down the inside of Stansbury. Gilbert has to slot back as Guy Cunnington now sets the fastest lap of the race. I said that strawberry cart was looking quick and is now showing that. Stansbury now nerfed back to the back of this group. So Stansbury will be down into P8, Gilbert up into 6th, Johnson up into 7th. Keep an eye on this group. So the gap now, Kai Hunter, after about 8 laps of racing now, as they're about to complete lap 7, is laid by just under a second now for the Dan Holland Racing team. William Ellswood not managing to close in, and now his teammate strikes. Ravenscroft goes for P2. Thinks, right, now it's my turn to try and close in. Slot in behind me. Let's close this gap, because it's 1.1 seconds now to go. They cannot let Kai Hunter break. There. 4th place. Got good pace, has Guy. Fastest lap of the race in the last lap. Not going for any moves yet, but already we're starting to see Ravenscroft break away from his teammate Ellswood. Yep. Keep a very close eye on that as that goes through. Keep an eye on the rest of the field further back as well. James Johnson still there in 7th. Brandon Cohen-Langerfort still there in 9th. Dave Belanca still holding off the top 10. Counting to P15 at the moment. Riley Stevenson also good running at the moment. P16. James Tomset in P17. Kieran Kay currently in P18 as this cover just receiving a warning flag currently. So cars just making their way around that mid-flag section. So the gap now 1.4 seconds. Even Clayton in 2019 in the senior Rotax class. Can younger brother Kai, form of Amelia Nelson, currently in P13 for the time being. 5 minutes to go, and again, no chopping and changing. They're in the lull. Look over the shoulder there for Ravenscroft, just seeing what's going on behind. There is a sizable gap between himself, a couple of kart lengths between himself and Will Ellswood. Guy Cunnington not going for the move yet. Everyone's slotting into place, and just Cunnington going for the move there. That was quite a way back. Gets it done though on Ellswood. Ellswood nothing to risk. Now is starting to fade in this race because he's now got James Johnson just behind. James, very quick driver, who's had mechanical gremlins all the way through today. Looking strong in this final, clouting the curb. There goes Guy Cunnington. And long trains forming all the way throughout this. 4 minutes 40, and Higgins back down the inside of Cunnington. I don't think Cunnington was ready for that one. He did leave the gap, but I think it wasn't too much of a gap, so I don't think he was expecting that move to come so soon. That is allowing everyone else to break away at the moment. Kai Hunter, well, he's driven away with this one. He's 2 seconds clear. There's Ravenscroft in 2nd place. This is the battle for 3rd, so it's Higgins now from Cunnington, Ellswood, James Johnson, Lewis Gilbert there as well, though. So the current O-Plate champion is in striking distance here, but he's nowhere near close enough to go for the race lead. So much rubber down through turn 1. Marbles flicking off left, right and centre as the track heats up. Here now at a sunny Mansell Raceway in the heart of Devon. And these drivers just absolutely line astern. Spectators filling the side of the track, watching along, waiting, and just no moves gained in this one, of course. It's such a fine line of when you want to get these moves. These senior drivers are incredibly quick, but of course they know their racecraft. They know that they can't just overtake left, right and centre, left, right and centre. They have to be patient, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing maturity in these drivers. They're waiting for the prime opportunity to get that move done that isn't going to cost them a lot of time. And there goes Ellswood on Cunnington, and there, crucially, goes Gilbert on James Johnson as well. Ellswood gets back, now goes defensive from Cunnington. This is bringing the current O-plate Lewis Gilbert back into it, but I don't think he's going to have the pace and momentum to get anywhere near the race lead, because that is seconds ahead. Well, meanwhile, Matthew Higgins is starting to now close back in on Clayton Ravenscroft. Matthew Higgins, who started this race on pole position, looked to be the favourite to win the O-plate. Faded slightly in the mid-section of this race, and has allowed his teammate Kai Hunter to just break away. Now it's really starting to close up here in the mid-pack section, because Ellswood defending from Cunnington, Gilbert still there. Now this is Strawberry versus Potenza. So the two Potenza teammates of Gilbert and James Johnson are right behind the Strawberry Racing driver of Cunnington. They all look exactly the same, but trust me, they're completely different teams. Out they go then, onto the back straight, into the final chicane. Ellswood still leading it, less than 2 minutes to go. Both Cunnington and Gilbert there absolutely smacking the curb and looking now to the inside. No, they were just holding that defensive line. Ellswood with a warning flag now. The number 6 seed leading this pack and in 4th place. It's being watched slightly here by the stewards. Tucking in as much as possible goes Cunnington. Try and close that gap back up to himself. All the meanwhile, first, second and third are starting to break away now. Eyes here on this battle for 4th place. Battles happening all over the circuit as well. Julia Nelson still there, P9, has managed to gain some places, managed to get up into the top 10. Brandon Klein-Nangervoort there in P10, across the line. Archie Brown close behind as well in P11. But eyes at the moment on this group. Less than a minute to go then. In this O-plate final, Kai Hunter is looking very, very comfortable in the race lead, setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Ravenscroft cannot catch up. Crucially, Higgins has not got past Ravenscroft either. As much as Higgins is going to try, he may have started on pole, but he's not got the pace in this latter section of the race, which is a huge shame. He's tucking into the slipstream as much as possible, trying to stay right behind Ravenscroft, and Ravenscroft is a tall driver and he stays completely upright there. So there's a huge bubble of air, or clean air really, available to Higgins to try and close in, but he just hasn't got the waft. Yellow flags out at the hairpin. Can't quite see, and there's the reason. It's the 89 Poppy Stevenson with heavy front end damage and looking to be in a bit of discomfort, but the timer strikes 0. We do hope she's okay. The timer strikes 0, and Kai Hunter's going to cross the line to see the last lap board this time around. And now can Higgins respond on Ravenscroft? It's not for the O-plate, but it's for 2nd place. It's a slightly bigger trophy and a slightly taller podium, and he's going to go down the inside in the mid-complex. And contact between the two of them. Ravenscroft fights back, and now they collect each other, and there's more. Higgins goes over the top, and Ravenscroft is out. Ravenscroft at the side of the circuit is out of this final, and all the way to the last lap he was looking like he could have taken the race win on this one, and now at the final lap he's out of this race. But there, your race leader for the time being, Kai Hunter, and he's looking pretty comfortable here. He can cruise to the finish line. Out of the final corner will come the number 2, and he celebrates in style. Kai Hunter takes the race win from Matthew Higgins. It's Dan Holland Racing 1-2 across the line. Ellswood will take third place from Lewis Gilbert. The O plate will have to concede that plate now and hand it over to Kai Hunter, who takes the O plate win. Guy Cunnington takes 5th place. But oh, what a result there. And Kai Hunter will be pleased with that one. An absolute dominant performance. Had to fight for a little bit. Started on the front row in 2nd place. And came to win comfortably by a fair few seconds. Then he cruises back to the pit lane. And there, oh dear, Clayton Ravenscroft. What a fight he's had all weekend, and he was so looking forward to this weekend, and unfortunately it's ended in his wagon, busted and broken at the side of the track, and he's going to push that kart back to a safe spot. But what a final that was. We're going to take a short break. We're going to be back in a moment's time chatting to our final winner. And here it is, the winning cut, the number 2 that will be replaced. There'll be a nice shiny O on there by the end of the day. But Kai Hunter, who's over here, our previous O-plate winners in many of categories. You've won it in junior Rotax as well, haven't you? You've won it in how many others?
I did win it in Mini-Max on track, but I got no score, so it don't count.
Oh, there we go. Well, another one for your name in senior Rotax, all is well. Well, that was a pretty comfortable final for you as well. You had to fight a little bit at the start, but from there it was drive away and don't worry about it. Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be a really close race, and then obviously another driver decided to be a bit aggressive, and I just got a little bit of a gap because of it, and then I just had to keep popping in good sectors, and then got a good gap. Yeah, I mean, yourself and your brother, you've done well in the karting years. You know, he runs a team. We wish he was racing this weekend. We chatted to him earlier this week. But, you know, you've both won O-plates, but yourself here, another one in seniors. Are you wanting to go for the O, 1, 2 all the way through the year, yeah? I'm going to keep the 2. It's been good luck for us. All right. So, yeah, I'll keep it, and then hopefully I can change it at the end of the year. Change it to a 1? Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? Yeah. But anyone you'd like to thank? Dan Holland, Time Racing Engines, me mechanic Ben, everyone else involved, me mum and dad, but yeah, everyone. Brilliant stuff, well done. With the O-plate in 2022, Kai Hunter, well done. Cheers. Excellent. Let's chat to our second place driver right here, Mr. Matthew Higgins. Matthew, you started on pole. You're looking to be the favourite on this one because you had the double heat wins, but unfortunately couldn't come to be in the final. Talk us what happened.
Yeah, it's just a shame. You know, some people can't take not winning, so they think they're above you, so they give you crap. That's what happens when you don't back out. Well, there we go. Apologies for any language there, but no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you can get away with it. But yeah, again, Mansell is a tough old track. It's a fast old track, but
you know, when you're racing for the O-Plate with these one-off events, people do things, and, you know, you have it. And it is what it is, really, in racing. But a second place, your teammate there taking the win, you fought back for it because you really dropped into the pack at one point as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get right-hand down by the same driver. So, yeah, look how it ended for him.
Well, I mean, second place, you can be happy with it, mate. You can celebrate on the podium with your teammate, Kai, but anyone you'd like to thank?
Just all the boys at Dan Holland and Time. The car was mega. Proved it with a 1-2. Shame it wasn't me on top, but yeah, and all my sponsors, my dad, all my family, just everyone that supports me, really.
Spot on. Well done there to Matthew Higgins there, finishing second place for the Dan Holland Racing team. Let's chat to third place, William Ellsworth. William, that was a tough old race on that one. You had a good scrap with your teammate, and talk us through that one.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take third place throughout. I mean, our past, I don't know if you saw a second round of the British, we were really struggling, but we changed things around now. We've got a different chassis, and we think that's down to the problems. It's just great to be back up in the front and fighting for the win. I mean, we weren't just quite off the pace just for the win, but I mean, we got to take third place, so end of the day I'm really happy.
So is this a good test then for you being back in the British, so, you know, with the testing of the chassis and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we come here to win it. Obviously it didn't happen, but I got to take a podium. But yeah, also looking forward into the future. We should be up there at the front end of the field for the rest of the British Championship.
It's a long old season as well. There's plenty more one-off events coming up also in the summer, so, you know, plenty more to fight for. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I've got to thank my dad, of course. Everything he does, he's been there since the start. KR Sport and KR Sport Race Engines. Yeah, and just my family overall.
Brilliant stuff. Congratulations on third place. Enjoy the podium. Enjoy the celebrations, William Ellsworth.
We will. Thank you very much.
Brilliant stuff there from our top three. And brilliant stuff from the entirety of the O-Plate here at Mansell Raceway with Motorsport UK. It's been a fabulous weekend, a quick weekend as well. Only 3 classes, but nevertheless some absolutely fantastic racing out there. Plenty more action is coming up next weekend with Motorsport UK with the Rissington round of the British Kart Championship. So make sure you stay tuned for that one later in the week. But from us here at Mansell Raceway, it is goodbye for now.